All right, welcome to UAP Society. I am Chris Lehto. We have an exciting video tonight, and this is live, so thanks everyone for being here. And the point of tonight is to go through all of the contestants, all of the video entrants that we have for hashtag UAP DSI. And the point of this contest is to get as much video out there, get as much movement from the community, from the audience, on how we can get the best UAP evidence. So 3 months ago, had the idea to put out a contest. We have a $1,000 prize and a $500 prize, and it will be decided in the next week by the UAP Society. So we have the holders. We have several of the holders here right now. I'm going to introduce. So we have hello, Allie and Justin. Hi, guys.
Hey,
welcome.
What's going on?
Thanks. Yeah, and you've started making content online. So you guys are YouTubers. That's anyone that publishes online. As you'll see, it's quite intimidating. It can be scary putting your face out there and saying what you think.
Absolutely.
There's a lot to learn. There's a lot to learn, and I'm sure there'll be lots of feedback. So I'm ready for it.
Yeah. So can you just give a basic intro? You know, your background, where you're from, and just a short blurb on your backgrounds.
Sure. Do you want backgrounds as in education?
What got you into the UAP Society? You know, how did you find out about it, and why are you involved?
So I found you on YouTube, and I just was really intrigued by the information that you had and the way that you were presenting it. And then I'm a social butterfly, so as soon as I found out there was a Discord, I was in it, and then I've been hooked ever since. And I just really appreciate this community. I really appreciate this channel and the camaraderie that happens on it. So that's my spiel. I'm Hello Allie. Thanks for being here.
Excellent. And you, Justin?
Okay, my story is pretty similar to yours, Chris. And watching the 2017 CBS 60 Minutes interview with Lou Elizondo, that got me into researching UAP and the phenomena, and it's led me to your YouTube channel and then your Discord, and then I met Allie and been a part of the team ever since, and I'm happy to be here, and I'm glad everybody can join us today.
Yeah, man.
Excellent. Yeah, it's been amazing. Yeah, Allie, at the beginning, you helped set up the Discord and really have put tons of time over the years now. So really appreciate all you've done.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
thanks, Chris.
excellent.
I appreciate it. It's been an honor to be able to help out this way, because this information is important, not just to one person or one country. It's all of humanity that needs this type of information. So I'm here for it.
Exactly. Okay. Thanks for being here. And next we have Leslie. Thank you for being here, Leslie. Thanks for all your moderating. What got you into UAPs and the UAP Society?
Well, I'm just fascinated with, metaphysical, spirituality, paranormal, and all things, not of this world. Anyway, and I believe that we are not of this world, and that we're, eternal spiritual beings having a temporary human experience here. And I joined UAP through Allie and through her Discord at Hello Allie Discord, and now I help co-host on Hello Allie YouTube with them, and I love both of them very much, and now I'm part of the UAP family as well, and I just feel blessed to be a part of this. And I am myself, prior to my spiritual awakening, you might say, I was very much a conspiracy theorist, which most of those are no longer theories, but, so I have a history of that. So I'm also a truther at heart as well, but more on the lines of just, I'm just here. I'm here for it. Now I appreciate part of the team.
Excellent. And you're keeping track of our videos, right? We have 17 videos, you said.
Yes.
So we have quite a few to get through. Excellent. So thanks for being here, Leslie, and thanks for all your help on the Discord. So
thank you.
Excellent. Finally, we have George is here tonight. Thanks for being here, George. You're on the Discord as well, very active member. Thank you so much. What got you into UAP Society and now making content for UAP Society YouTube?
Thank you, Chris. Well, I've always been interested in UFOs and phenomenology since I've been a kid, over 20 years now. And I took a little bit of a hiatus, and one day I stumbled upon your content, and you were the most objective, rational ufologist who was up on the rise and up and coming that I really resonated with. And this was when the 3 DoD videos were released. And ever since then, I've been involved in the UAP Society community, meeting great people from all different walks of life. You've inspired me to create a YouTube channel where I interview not just experiencers from our UAP Society Discord, but I've also been able to talk with heavy hitters, luminaries in the UAP field that I've never imagined in a million years that I'd talk with. Quite a journey. Been quite a journey, and I'm very excited to be here.
Who did you talk with last? Who was your last guest? Is that
Oh,
Grant
gosh.
Cameron? Did you talk to him? Or
Me and another YouTuber got a chance to talk with Grant Cameron, Steve,
cool.
Allie and Justin. We recently interviewed Grant Cameron Steve Mera
Steve
himself,
Mera, right?
and that was so incredible. We're still editing it.
Yep.
It's so amazing, and the amount of stuff that I've been learning is, it's added to my repertoire and understanding of the phenomenon. And just a little bit about myself. I live in Hawaii. I'm a mental health therapist, master's level. I've got a master's in psychology as well as a master's in education. So I approach the field of ufology from a scientific, phenomenological, and psychological perspective. And once again, Chris, thank you for allowing me to be an opportunity for becoming a mod at the Discord, as well as a contributor, editor, and mod at the official UAP Society YouTube.
Yeah, it's amazing. No, thank you guys for your efforts. And yeah, that's what happens, right? You have to take the risk and get out there and put your face on camera, and it's scary. It really is. And so, no, I applaud all you guys, and thanks for all your help. And I hope we can make it a great collaboration in the future.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got a lot of videos. Let's get right to these things. So George, I think you have it set up. I'll go ahead and add it right here. All right, these are the playlist competitions. Competition videos. We're not going to watch the initial video, but basically the point is it's going to be a subjective account, right? So whoever is an NFT holder will decide which one of these is the best. We want to take your inputs, while we're going through this. So thanks for being here, Ryan Wood, Paul Madden. Who else do we have here? Moon at Noon. Yes, you are out there, but we appreciate you being here as well. That's the point. UAP Society is the second channel. And originally I made the channel because whenever I said the word NFT, people would just freak out, literally flip out and avoid everything and not think about the actual content. And I also thought what we found is experiencers feel that a lot, is that there's nowhere really where they feel comfortable, at least at UAP Society. It seems like a great place for experiencers to come and people to discuss. Obviously, it's Discord. We do have a lot of drama, etc. People do lose their minds online. But that's really thanks to you guys really just sticking with it and trying to maintain a consistent basis. It's tough to decide when we have to remove people, etc. But the goal is finding evidence, right? The point of this is if we have to go fund this, and I really do want to go fund the best ideas out of this, is can we go fund it? Can we actually do these things? That's the point. The idea is to get actionable videos, actionable ideas. It's not how good the video is, it's the idea. Can we do it? Can UAP Society as a community go out and execute these plans? And if it costs money, can we raise the money using GoFundMe's, etc.? So that's the idea. So let's get started. Go ahead and play the first one, George.
Yeah.
All right, very cool. Now let's play use weather satellite images to hunt for UFOs, UAPs, and this comes from Howard's Tech Blog. And here we go. Let's play this. I'll maximize the screen for your
We've got a war in the
pleasure.
Middle East, a war in
Go ahead
Ukraine and Russia, and now rapidly depleting oil reserves. The last time,
like we did with SETI, my proposal would be to use UAP Society Research Proposal. Participate like we did with SETI. My proposal would be to use an inexpensive software-defined radio dongle, RTL SDR, to access and download weather satellite images and look for possible UAP objects entering our atmosphere. You may concentrate on satellite images from UAP hotspots like around Groom Lake and Area 51 in Nevada, and weather satellite images over military bases, especially nuclear sites. And of course, tracks satellites that send images near the famous hotspots, like where Commander Dave Fravor and his wingman Alex Dietrich tracked the Tic Tac in 2004 near Catalina Island and San Diego in Southern California, or focus your research off the coast of Virginia, often a UAP hotspot where F-18 fighter pilot Lieutenant Ryan Graves reported a cube-shaped UFO in a transparent sphere. In his testimony to Congress on July 26, 2023, he stated that fighter pilots were seeing UAPs on a daily basis in their flight training areas. It was shocking to hear it was a common occurrence for many pilots. I would also concentrate on the Great Lakes in Michigan, over southern Canada and Alaska, where UAPs were shot down by our military jets last year. They say they were balloons, but no images were ever released. So let's discover the facts for ourselves. If these crafts are coming in from space, then it makes sense that some could appear in close-up weather satellite images. This idea may attract thousands of participants, like what SETI did in the late 1980s, and I was part of that. With thousands of volunteers downloading and searching images daily, we might just find a number of credible hits as the UAPs enter or leave our atmosphere. And it's very inexpensive to participate, especially if you're a computer hobbyist. All you need is the RTL SDR module and an antenna. Many satellites like NOAA are not encrypted and are transmitting images 24 hours a day, 7 days a week in real time that anyone can receive. More details. Anyone with a personal computer and an inexpensive RTL SDR module, software-defined radio, or dongle can participate in monitoring weather satellite photos. The module plugs into your USB port and works with the SDR++ or SDR Sharp open source software, converting your laptop or desktop, Apple or PC, into a broadband amateur radio receiver that covers 100 kilohertz through 1.75 gigahertz. Some of the satellite transmissions, like NOAA, are easy to find on 137 to 138 megahertz. You will need an antenna to get this device to work, and you could even get by using just a long wire connected to its antenna input. But to be specific, the exact antenna length for 137 megahertz is 20.4 inches. The RTL dongle is inexpensive at around $29.95 to $34.95. Yes, just $29.95. You can purchase this through Amazon or other sources, and even through AliExpress for a few bucks less. I spent $43.95 for a kit that included 2 different telescoping antennas, an antenna mount, and a cable to connect to the dongle. And you may have great success catching the NOAA transmissions just with the dipole and the telescoping antennas. RTL-SDR.com is another good source for the dongle, related hardware like antennas, plus software downloads and articles on the topic. It did take a little time to install the SDR Sharp software because I had a problem installing the driver into my laptop, but I eventually found a version that had a built-in driver and it worked like a charm. You may also want to run your RTL SDR dongle in Linux using Dragon OS. Now for the meat of my method. Lots of weather satellites that transmit images are orbiting the Earth, many from the US and even some from Russia that you can access. As I mentioned earlier, many satellite transmissions are easy to find from 137 megahertz to 138 megahertz, and with just a telescoping antenna. The satellites cover different regions at different times, and the times and location of these satellites with their radio frequencies are referenced on the internet. One valuable site with satellite data is n2yo.com, with tons of frequency and location data covering lots of satellites. You'll find that NOAA 15 broadcasts around 137.2 megahertz, but you may need to go outdoors with your equipment to pick up the signals. The project that covers this setup is from SaveItForParts.com, also on YouTube, called How to Get Live Satellite Images Directly from Space. You'll pick up the digital signals with the dongle, record it, and then use a free add-on app like WXTIMG to convert the audio data transmissions to images. Depending on the frequency and location of the satellite, you may require a small satellite dish antenna to capture those signals, similar to the Dish Network or DirecTV antennas. You could even get by with a small telescoping antenna if you go outside to pick up the signal. Alternatively, you can build your own dish for a few dollars if you can find one surplus or used, or for one discarded on trash pickup day. A similar project I found is on Instructables.com called Homemade Satellite TV Antenna. In this case, you won't use it to watch TV. You'll just use the antenna to pick up the digital images. Another video from Instructables covers the RTL SDR I'm using. It's entitled Receiving Images from Passing Weather Satellites Using a Cheap SDR. And they show the images. And finally, I found a YouTube video that steps you through locating and decoding the NOAA images entitled How to Decode and Understand NOAA APT Satellite Reception. The channel is Derek SGC. It includes all details required to successfully decode the transmission from a number of NOAA satellites. That's my idea and proposal. I'm Howard from Crazy Tech Cyber Times LLC. Please subscribe.
Okay.
Hi, this is.
Thank you, Howard. Okay, yeah, excellent one. So great start. I really like that one. The dongle of weather satellite data, SDR. And what I really like about it is it's cheap and it adds in. We're taking advantage of already passive information out there. I mean, I don't know. What's your guys' take on that one?
I thought it was pretty cool that you could just turn your laptop straight into a receiver. I mean, everybody has one of those already. So if all you need is a little flash drive, you could just pop right in and have that kind of function. I think that was really convenient.
It's like SETI. Yeah. What was your take, George?
I thought it had a lot of great potential with respect to using pre-existing tech that everyday people already have. I'm not sure if he mentioned the cost incursion for each of these different components, however.
Yeah, I was looking while we were talking there. Yeah, basically, I found what he said on AliExpress was $29 for that dongle. I can show you here. Let me share my screen.
All right.
And again, we do have a lot of videos, so we can't spend too much time on each one. I didn't share it. There we go. Yeah, so if you see here, this is what it looks like. This software-defined radio, and from what I understand, it's passive. You know, I'm not an expert on that, but basically, through the signals through the air, you can see that there's something going through the air. Is my understanding is that it's basically radar, but you're picking up it up passively. That's my basic understanding. Does anyone know on software-defined radio? Any experts?
Nope, not me.
No.
In the crowd? Okay, I know we can talk to Richard about it. Richard from Sky 360. He's been trying to add software-defined radio. Yeah, anyway, we'll have to look at it more. But very interesting. Okay. I love that it's based on SETI and the community. You know, we could get 100 people there for less than $3,000 and now have this wide area network.
Yeah.
So I do like that idea.
Good.
All right.
Good first video.
Let's get to the next one.
All
Again,
right.
thanks everybody for being here. That was the first video. Let's get to the second one. We got more to go.
Very cool. This second video, friends, is titled UAP Selfie Situation. And this is from our friends at Project Hestelin.
Yep, I have an interview with Fred, actually. I still need to post. I don't know why I didn't post it. This is an interesting idea as well.
Let's see if I can bring up the playlist again.
Like we did with SETI.
Yep, exactly.
UAP selfie situation. Here we go.
Selfie station. Yep. This is from Fred.
So On location.
Yeah, the argument.
Press the
I
button.
think you have to go start at the beginning, please. Yeah.
Okay. Maximizing, and we are playing.
Hi, this is Fred from Project Astronomy. And
Hard to hear.
got a
Can you
phone
turn it
call
up?
from Chris Lehto.
It's maxed all the way up,
During
friends.
that, I said that I would enter
Okay.
my idea into this competition.
Okay, you can speed it up then if we're just reading. I can explain it then because I have talked with Fred about this actually
And now I have
in
to
our
think
interview.
what I have made. Let's see.
The
So-
point of his idea is to give the
Of
UAPs a chance to take a picture, to take a
What we
selfie, basically.
turn it around. So let them show themselves in a way that does not involve human observations, but mechanical detection. Because that's the problem. If somebody takes a picture, everybody is like, well, it's just there's a human behind there. There's Photoshop behind there. Don't believe you. But if you have a mechanical detection system, basically what we have in Hesdalen, because there we have this blue box and it just takes pictures every night to bad quality, but it is mechanical, and we have a lot of pictures of UFOs, still blurry pictures. So what if we can make them take a selfie close up? So I have some assumptions. First of all, I'm assuming that they are intelligent, that they do surveillance, so they know what we are talking about, whether it's in media or maybe even on the internet. And kind of one of the key features of a UFO is that they can move so fast that it defies the physics as we know it. What if we can use these two key indicator or assumptions? Let's see. So I want to make this UAP selfie instruction. Like I want to tell them how and where to go. Just get out the information. I guess they will pick it up, all this surveillance. And then they have to show the speed by picking up a unique item in one position and then drop it off at another position. And the time between these must be so fast that it could not have been done by a human. This is kind of the idea. So how to take a selfie? You press a button, you go to a location that we have put out we have these stations, UAP stations, selfie stations. You press a button, that's the instruction. A picture will be taken and a box will open where you get this key ring. And this key ring is unique. So you have to pick it up and then you have to move to another of these locations. Do the same thing, press the button, a picture will be taken, and then you drop off the key. Oh, yeah, of course, it's the same procedure. So it kind of a box opens and closes. So you will get a new key as well, but you have to drop off the one you picked up at location A. And you could put these on UFO hotspots. And I was thinking, like, what if people show up and try to do this? So that's why it has to be this unique key ring. So basically, on location A, you press a button, the system will take a picture, and you will get the unique key. And the system will timestamp the pickup time of that specific key. So in this box, you will have like a sequence of keys. So you know which one is released. And then if you're an alien, go to location B. And if you're a human, you just got yourself an interesting souvenir. You will not be able to travel to location B fast enough to fool us. So on location B, press the button, same procedure, the system will take a picture, and you'll get the unique key. And if you're an alien, you're welcome to take this as a souvenir and show us when we meet. If you're an alien, drop off the key you picked up at A, location A, and the system will add a timestamp to the particular box that opens. So we have a connection between the timestamp, we know which is the unique key there, and we know when that unique key was released on location A. So we can now check that you can travel faster than possible for any humans. So thank you for the picture and the proof. So we could have these UAP selfie stations at known UFO hotspots, Skinwalker Ranch, Hesdalen, and so on. And I think it would be a really nice souvenir if anyone is able to find the locations and collect some keys. If we want to make it difficult, we want to make it far out, we can maybe put the pictures online instantly. So if it's a human, if you are up there, good marketing, you found a hotspot, you got the nice souvenir, your picture is on the website, but it could be an alien. And then I want notifications. I'd like to have information about this website. I get notifications. So these keys must be unique. There must be something inside them, maybe some biometric identity or something, tissue, or I don't know, something that is you can prove that this is unique. But even non-unique keys, keychains like this, could be sold just to finance the project. So this is the idea. a UAP selfie station. So this is not an original idea. I commented on this at work, and somebody said, "Oh yeah, that's just like Big Bang Theory." So yeah, you can go and find that. They had some suggestion, and even that is basically is very similar, like something you touch. Okay, and then it goes on. So it didn't go into detail. I don't think there's any project on it, and it's not a finished idea. I mean, I presented this on my Project Heston Discord server. I got some feedback from Frogman, thank you, saying that what if they really don't monitor the web that much? Maybe there should be some kind of a beacon, some hello, we're here, some kind of a more signal pulsing out or something. So we can think about this. How do we tell them how to use the system? I think it would be enough to just get it out in the media, get it out on the internet. I think they do surveillance. But it's not finished in so many ways because, well, I think the mechanical part is just something we will figure out. The unique key is like, how do we do that? Something that cannot be duplicated. Because I want to know that you take this from position A to position B, and this is something you can't just print out another. It's not just a QR code that you can duplicate or something like that. It has to be unique. So it's probably some DNA stuff or something like that. But so we have to think about how to do that. Maybe we want to add more features to this selfie station. Do we want them to be able to kind of punch in some code, give some message? But for me, it's just enough to know that they were there. And this must be an alien because they moved from A to B at a speed that is beyond what we can do at all. So if this idea is a winner, I want the prize to be donated to this project. Of course, I want this to be a real project. And okay, I have presented my first idea. Actually, I have two ideas. So I'm going to make another movie and vote for me.
Huh. Okay. Interesting, right?
Yeah, such an interesting concept. I've never actually thought of that.
Me
It
neither.
was on the Big Bang Theory, he said. It wasn't his idea. You just give a chance for the aliens to take selfies. Because I guess the assumption is that the aliens don't want us to see them, right? But what if they do want us? What if they do want to show their position, but they want to do it in a safe manner? They want to prove to us that they exist, but not put themselves in harm's way, or we don't have to capture them. This way, they can just say, "Yeah, I was here." And I was thinking while I watched that video, is we could actually use NFT tech. You can prove. Using NFTs, you can only put it on a USB drive that's inside of that. So they'd have to bring an NFT.
You're always
another
thinking
location.
how to utilize these NFTs. I like it.
Yeah.
Send them to space. Put them in an alien mailbox. Why not?
Well, he said, what is a way we could confirm, cryptologically, and that would be an easy, cheap way to confirm it cryptologically. Maybe a fun way, if we can think about it. Yeah, like he said, not fully finished, but I do like the idea. And he said he'd donate it, the prize money. So that would be cool to maybe we could use that to fund the selfie sticks.
All right.
Selfie sticks. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was an interesting one. Let's go to number 3.
All right. Very good. Our next one on this playlist is Skywatch Passive Radar /app/ Reporting Center for UFO Detection.
Excellent.
By user No Rules. And here we go.
All right. Let's see it. No rules.
Did you know that you could get $50,000 to over $150,000 of investment capital
This is
at
an ad.
0% interest rates to fund
I was
any
like, wow, this guy's interesting.
Skywatch is a decentralized radar network with nationwide coverage. It accurately quantifies the motion of all objects in the sky. The network is deployed by citizens, and the data is in their hands, giving them the ability
Can
to
you
bring
speed
about
it down?
UFO.
Sorry.
Radar measurements are uniquely suited to distinguish what is human tech and what is non-human tech because they measure kinematic tracks, the bizarre zigzag motions that UFOs regularly exhibit. However, citizens do not have access to these critical data. To understand why Skywatch is the essential system citizens need for disclosure, it's necessary to understand what differentiates objects that could potentially be human-made from objects that could not be human-made. We call objects that exhibit special characteristics that indicate non-human origin objects outside the paradigm of science, or OOPS. These are objects that behave in ways that our current paradigm of science cannot understand or duplicate, even by trickery. You may be familiar with the so-called 5 observables. These characteristics mark key features associated with non-human technical vehicles. However, not all of these characteristics are unique to non-human craft. Balloons show no control surfaces or visible means of propulsion. Humans have made hypersonic missiles and planes. These do generate heat and sonic booms, but these signatures are not always detected. Humans have also engineered low observability stealth aircraft. And human-made airborne objects can and do fall into the water. The one characteristic that is unique to non-human technical vehicles is instantaneous acceleration. Human-made aircraft cannot and do not instantaneously accelerate as UFOs reportedly do. Therefore, if a nationwide network of citizen-operated instruments were to be deployed to reliably and accurately measure these kinematic tracks, these data would constitute a citizen-powered disclosure. What kind of instrument is best suited to measure kinematic tracks on a nationwide scale? To answer this, note that much of the existing UFO evidence in the public domain is in the form of pictures and videos. It's no surprise, however, that these data are inconclusive because a single camera cannot resolve distance. As such, size, velocity, and acceleration, in other words, kinematic tracks, cannot be determined. In order to resolve kinematic tracks, multiple camera angles would be needed on the same object. The useful range of a camera is about 10 kilometers. So in principle, nationwide coverage could be effected with about 1 million cameras permanently mounted across the countryside in a grid. But what about nighttime? What about clouds, rain, and fog? The ideal solution is passive radar. Passive radar can detect objects up to 100 miles away. It operates day or night and is not affected by clouds, rain, or fog. Combined in a network, they accurately measure object position and velocity to form kinematic tracks. Because of the exceptional range of passive radar, nationwide coverage would require a grid of only about 10,000 sites. Passive radar, as the name implies, is a receive-only technology. It piggybacks off of existing transmitters, such as the commercial FM radio transmitters that cover the entire nation. This is not a new technology. This is proven technology that was first used in the 1940s. Because it does not do its own transmitting, it is completely safe, undetectable, and can be made to be small, light, and inexpensive. My name is Mitch Randall, CEO and Chief Science Officer of Ascendant AI. As a volunteer research team member of Harvard's Galileo project, I developed a prototype passive radar network to detect kinematic tracks of skyborne objects. I'm the lead author of the peer-reviewed paper describing Skywatch published in the Journal of Astronomical Instrumentation. This is the output from a Skywatch passive radar receiver prototype I developed in 2022 based on a nearby FM radio transmitter as the source. The horizontal axis is bistatic range, and the vertical axis is Doppler frequency. The radar sees all of the objects in the sky at once within the detection radius. Aircraft are easily detected landing at a major airport about 52 kilometers away. The vision for Skywatch is to develop an easy-to-set-up consumer radar receiver that allows citizens to become part of a nationwide passive radar network. The receivers communicate to servers that combine the radar outputs to obtain real-time kinematic tracks of all the objects in the sky throughout the nation. The kinematic tracks are sampled at up to 15 times per second and can accurately measure velocities up to Mach 6 and accelerations up to 2,700 Gs. Skywatch is designed to deliver accurate scientific quality data. Its accuracy is continuously calibrated using the known position and velocity of commercial air traffic. As such, Skywatch results can be a trusted source of data to scientific groups. This is, by itself, enough to enable citizen-powered disclosure. But when combined with a cell phone app and a public reporting database, these three pillars form a remarkably solid foundation from which to attain irrefutable confirmation. The associated cell phone app leverages the technology and ubiquity of cell phones to collect reliable scientific data. Besides providing a convenient method of reporting sightings, the app lets users participate in a nationwide network of insiders poised to capture video of rare events on a moment's notice. If a user begins to record video of an unusual object, nearby users are alerted to look in the sky in that general direction. If multiple users capture video of the same object from different locations, these videos can be later post-processed to obtain quantitative object position, velocity, and size. The app becomes even more valuable in tandem with the Skywatch radar network. The paths of objects measured by radar are used to give advance notice to app users where to look for objects headed their way. The independent triangulation from their videos can then be combined with the radar data to form compelling multi-sensor reporting of UAP events. The Skywatch Public Reporting Database becomes a repository for sighting evidence of all kinds, including eyewitness testimony, stereo video, and radar data. The repository will use consistent formatting, AI-generated summary, and standard cross-reference tags to enable deep, efficient, and easy public searches. We have seen that kinematic track is the critical, undebunkable characteristic that distinguishes objects outside the paradigm of science. We showed that radar is uniquely suited to make that measurement. We showed that passive radar can be practically deployed on the nationwide scale needed to capture these rare events. We showed that the system constantly maintains calibration to ensure the results can be trusted to scientific standards. Summed together, Skywatch then becomes the singular practical solution to empower citizen disclosure of non-human technical vehicles. The combination of the Skywatch radar, phone app, and public reporting database form a solid platform to achieve citizen disclosure, yet the resources required to enact the plan are modest. We've demonstrated a prototype that proves the technology works. What is needed is the development of the consumer radar receiver needed to enable nationwide deployment and the distribution, maintenance, and support infrastructure that deployment requires. Ascendant AI has put together a plan for a team of 5 to 7 people to achieve full launch within 24 months. The Skywatch app and database would be released within the first 12 months. The Skywatch Passive Radar Network would begin real-world evaluation in cooperation with a group for the scientific study of UAP within 18 months. Full release, including full production and mass distribution, as well as publication in scientific journals, would occur within 24 months. The team at Ascendant AI is ready and able to take on the full scope of this effort, but private philanthropic funding is needed. If you are interested, please contact us.
Okay, interesting stuff. So that was Skywatch. Thanks to Skywatch Passive. That's the radar. So another. My question is, what's the difference between STR and then this radar? They need an actual signal out there. I mean, an actual radar receiver. That would be my first question. Is, how different is STR? I think it's quite different. The good news is you're getting your own data with those radar receivers. That's amazing, and that app sounds great, but it hasn't been created. So we'd have to create it or support it with creating. But it sounds like they've already done on the Galileo project, at least proved that they can track up to Mach 6. So that would go up to 6,000 miles an hour. And I've heard these things go up to 20,000 miles per hour. But that would get a large percentage of it. Yeah. What's your guys' take on it?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but did I not just hear that he's also co-collaborating with the Galileo project? Question 1 and question 2. Does this already utilize the pre-existing radio towers to augment this project?
Yeah, I think it's different frequencies. Yeah, because what he's talking. So this was software-defined radar, and that's what Richard's been wanting to add, or they've been talking about adding it to Sky 360 because it passively picks up radar signals.
So on location B, press the button.
The previous guy, Howard was talking about SDR, and that he was talking. He even said the length of the receiver that the antenna that you need, right? He said it was, I think, 20 inches. So I think that's not going to be in your radar band. that's going to be in radio. So it's different frequencies. One's looking in the radio spectrum, and one is looking in the radar spectrum. I think the radar spectrum, I'm guessing, is going to be higher fidelity. But,
and he was also able to demonstrate that this methodology, this technology that he's proposing works, correct?
It sounded like the company he is with, or the CEO of, if I heard that right, is already like working on this. So it's, I don't know if he expects it to be like, you know, like a working together to like bring it out. Maybe we could look back at that or figure that out later. But
yeah, he said he worked on the Galileo project and they proved that it works.
Okay, and then
So
they
have a prototype. It sounds like he proved that it works, that they can track using this setup, but they still need a lot of work and development, creating the app, which sounds amazing. I've heard, I think Enigma, they mentioned in the chat, has an app as well. So
yeah, to be alerted.
I think they've proven it. He's proven that it works with Galileo.
That's great.
In the chat,
like a lot more needs to be done.
In the chat, Ryan Wood says, "Wish it was more open source." And Mitch Randall says, "It's passive radar using FM radio and DTV."
Yeah, that's his. That's what we're talking about right now.
That's the SDR, right? Software defined radio. Yeah. And this guy was talking about radar. Is my question. Is that using the same frequencies? That's from Wayne Slater. Do you know? All
Type
right.
it in the
Let's
chat
get
if
on.
you do know.
Yeah, excellent video though, and amazing idea so far. So that was the fourth one. Let's go to the fifth one, George.
Yeah.
You ready?
Okay.
All right, very good. So this is our next video from High Strangeness Helena, and the title is UAP Society Contest. But let's
excellent.
see what this is about.
Let me post it. Sorry.
Right.
There we go. Hello,
Now,
Mark. Thanks for being here, Mark Wolf.
Let's see. Okay,
Mitch Randall. Okay, it uses SDR. Okay, so this would be a cheaper way using that dongle if that works.
Okay, now ready to play?
Yep, let's do it.
All right.
Okay, thank you. Okay, that was video 5. I really like this video because it would be free to do essentially. And I
Yeah,
like
all
that,
you need is time and
yeah.
coordination, right?
This seemed like something UAP Society could definitely do. I mean, obviously not all the time, but we could do it for certain periods of time. You know, like maybe a weekend a month, or over some period of time, pick some area and, you know, see if it works to cross-check these three things.
Right.
I haven't gotten it. Yeah.
It's kind of reminding me of, oh, sorry, George. Just kind of reminding me of like when that Pokemon app came out and everybody was like walking around with their cell phones trying to collect all the Pokemon. Only this time you'd be walking around collecting pictures or videos of UFOs.
Perfect.
It seems like a low cost incursion. My question is that in the video it states that you need at least 3 people with a smartphone, 1 to track satellite data, 1 to track star data, and 1 to track possibly anomalous objects. Question I had is, do these 3 people or 3 phones need to be together in the same place to capture the same area of sky? And another variable would be, what about the quality of the phone camera, since everyone has different phones?
Yeah, no, you definitely have to be within the same, looking at the same patch of sky. So I would see it like in a certain city, or Florida, like we have UAP Society members in a certain area in Florida. You know, so yeah, I mean, that is a big limitation.
It sounded like an app would be created for this, and the information would be through the app.
Well, I think we could do that on Discord. You know, it wouldn't take so much to coordinate.
Oh, that's a good point. You don't even need the app. You just log into the server. Okay.
Yeah, the point is, that's what I mean. It could be something we could just do at the UAP Society on the Discord.
So that would eliminate
all this exact model, but basically just
big news.
You know,
so that would eliminate the cost of an app, and it would eliminate the time waiting for it to be developed. And sorry if I spoke over you, Chris. Sorry.
No, exactly. We already have the Discord. Because we already have all the people linked. You know, we have at least hundreds of people that are interested. I don't know if they'd be willing to put out an hour, but maybe once in a while. You know, and so it seemed like something we could execute. It doesn't have to be exactly this idea, but something like that maybe.
Yeah.
Cool.
Right.
All right. Yeah. Thanks for the video again. Great ideas. All new stuff. I haven't thought of most of these things. So great to see it.
Yep.
Next video, George, if you're ready.
Yes, sir.
Those are flying. Yep. We can see you.
Okay.
Well,
Rock New York J.
All right, so let's see. I think you need to post the video.
Okay,
on
sorry
the
about that. Yep.
screen. Yep, no problem. So this next video entry comes from the YouTuber No Rules, and it's titled Skywatch Passive Radar /app/Reporting
We did that one
Center.
already.
Oh, we did this one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we did Skywatch already.
Let's bring back the list here. Okay, so it would be, is this the one? etunited.org. Okay, from Nebula's Corner.
Well, no, Whiskey 72. I know that one. Go up one.
Go up one.
Yeah, that's it.
This one here.
Yeah, this is another good idea. All these ideas. I love this contest so far.
Okay, so
What are we doing?
go ahead.
What is
say
the
again.
title of this one?
The title is W72 UAP mission from the YouTuber Stefan Krug.
Whiskey 72.
Here we go. I'm going to turn on closed captions, and this one is roughly 7 minutes. Pressing play.
I think you got to go back. It's yeah.
I don't have that one on the list. So no.
I want to put this PowerPoint together as an overview of how we could potentially investigate one of the low-hanging fruits, I think, for getting some real data on the UAP phenomena. So this presentation pretty much references what Ryan Graves has been stating publicly on several occasions regarding this cube within a transparent sphere UAP. And based on some firsthand accounts, he's mentioned that it was in an airspace that is actually identified, and it's a consistent area. So it seems like it's a pretty good place to get started. If you're not familiar with what has been reported, the VFA 11 squadron was flying 2 F-18 aircraft information as part of routine in the W-72 area off the east coast of Virginia Beach. And on occasion, in this W-72 area, UAP would actively drop in altitude and relocate its position between 2 F-18 aircraft flying in formation. It was stated on several occasions publicly that this, what I'm calling W-72 UAP, was visually identified on a quote-unquote everyday basis near a specific GPS entry point. And this obviously seems like it's a significant risk to flight safety. And everyone wants publicly available video and photo evidence visually verifying that this is actually happening. And this whole underlying this entire PowerPoint, the whole goal here is to try to provide direct, tangible, and irrefutable evidence of these objects from an impartial organization. We all want to have the question answered of, is this a PSYOP or is this actually real? And this is an experiment that I'm going to propose an experiment, a very simple one that can answer this question. So the solution I'm proposing is flying a commercial drone out to the location and take video and photos close up of where these have known to be flying. You probably want to bring a couple different drones with you. One to get as close as possible and relay and save high definition data. I think a second drone at least would be beneficial to try to intentionally penetrate the actual object itself. This could help us understand if these objects are truly a physical phenomena, that if an aircraft were to strike it, it would actually be catastrophic. Or is it a mirage? Is it gaseous phenomena? Or is there a potential hostile response from this object? So what could happen is you take somewhere between 5 and 10 people on a boat 10 miles off the coast, which is where these UAP have been reported. Take the drones with you and launch the drones in the location close to where these UAP have been previously identified. Ideally, you'd be able to have line of sight of these UAP prior to launching the drone. This is some information that I don't have, whether this is realistic or not. I also don't have any information on what the altitude of these UAP were, but as long as they're under 20,000 feet roughly, or 6 kilometers, the drones I'm about to propose should be able to do the job. So there's quite a few different options on drones that can be purchased for cheap and taken out on a mission like this. These are just a couple that are high volume drones from DJI that have long flight time, and you could get up to about 20,000 feet or 6 kilometers. And you shouldn't have any problem with transmitting the video live or saving the video as well. And that's all I got. Just want to keep it really short and simple. If you got any questions, contact me via email. Thanks.
Okay, excellent. Thank you to Steve. So I think he mentioned that in a live video, and I said, okay, then make a video and put it out there. So we did. Interesting idea. Yeah, if just taking the boat out there is an interesting idea. If we have anyone that's near Virginia Beach, anyone that lives out there, people that go boating, maybe normally they go boating or go fishing, would they be willing to bring some cameras on there, or bring a drone possibly, and fly a drone up to that altitude. 48 minutes. I didn't know they could fly that long.
Yeah, me either.
The question is, could they even see these things? I guess they were in the optical realm for sure, but it seems like you need to be looking in IR. If you want a better chance to find these things. So what do you guys think on that? What's your take, George?
The question that I had in mind, well, aside from taking a boat out there, isn't that military training airspace? And is that not off limits to civilian commercial aircraft and such?
Actually, no. You can fly a lot of these areas. And, a little drone like that, I think, is not going to damage a fighter, unless it went right down the intake. I don't think you want to be right at the altitude and entry at the entry point. I would surely offset the entry point by a little bit of distance and a little bit of altitude, because that's where the planes come through. So obviously you don't want to cause an issue for the planes. But I don't see, there's nothing saying you can't legally fly in that area, at least with planes. I'm assuming the same would be of a drone. It's outside of 12 nautical miles. Is the 8 is, I don't know of any laws that would prohibit that.
So it's uncontrolled airspace.
Yeah, as far as I know, it would be uncontrolled. Even a MOA, military operating area, you can fly in. We'd have all the time. We have doctors flying through the airspace. But Whiskey 72, that is a warning area. You have to check, actually. There are certain areas where they launch weapons that maybe you can't go in. There's certain areas where you actually can't go into. I'd have to check the regs. But like the entry point where he's talking about, I think, and where they've seen at least the visual, Ryan Graves said the guy came back and he said it was at the entry point where they saw these things. That normally it's lower than 20,000 feet. It's usually like 20,000 feet going in and 19,000 feet going out. But I believe some of these were seen up at 25,000 feet. So that's not going to, the drone's not going to be able to get up there. That was one of the reasons, is how do you have this thing up there for so long? Because drones can't do that.
Right.
So you're not going to be able to use a drone to get up to 28,000 feet or 30,000 feet if these things are that high.
And theoretically speaking, I was wondering about the camera quality and capability of these drone samples that he proposed. I mean, I wonder if they have these cameras, the capability of zooming in at long distances and whatnot.
I don't think so. It's a little small camera. I know they do like 4K, but I doubt it's like 120 frames. It's probably 30 frames a second at 4K. I mean, you don't see any like zoom lenses. Zoom, you need glass really to optically zoom. Otherwise, it's just a digital zoom. But the idea with the drone is you can get close to it.
Yeah, I've seen where people weren't necessarily trying to capture, UFO and UAPs, but using drones, but they've captured them with drones.
Yeah, I showed that before. Magnus up in Norway.
What's that?
Yeah, Magnus in Norway. He had the video. He talked about that, using drones to actually capture. What about using one of the actual capture drones, bringing that out there and try and throw a net on one of these UAPs? That would be the most exciting to me.
Whoa.
Right.
If it's stationary, could you get over there and have this drone like throw a net over it and see what happens?
Like, shoot, gotcha, got him.
It's probably fast enough to get away.
Yeah.
I would assume.
I would imagine
I like
we
that
would need
one. I like
4K.
this idea as well too. Even if you don't have a drone, could we send a boat out there? Is there anybody out there, with some cameras on it? If this is really where the hotspots are, they're seeing these things all the time. Is it worth sending something out there? It sounds like they're hard to see, but interesting idea.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's get to the next one. We're at an hour. What? I know there's gonna be some long ones in there. We may have.
We're going a little out of order, but I did have that one on the list. I just have to track them down.
Excellent. Okay, are you ready to go there, George?
I sure am.
All right.
This next entry submission is from Nebula, from Discord server Nebula's Corner. She's an experiencer, and she's a channeler. So this is titled ET/United.org, and this video goes for about 7 minutes. And let's maximize the screen, turn on the closed captions. Let's rock and roll. Here we go.
Hello everyone, my name is Nebula, and this is the video for the UAP competition for the data collection. So let's begin. Welcome to our presentation on ET United. ET United is a website, and I named it after my local CE5 group, a groundbreaking website aimed at revolutionizing the way we collect data, analyze, and share information about UAPs. Today, I'm excited to unveil a unique platform that merges cutting-edge technology with the power of community insights and AI. The vision. My vision with ET United is to create a one-of-a-kind hub for UFO enthusiasts, researchers, and the curious. This platform is not just about gathering data, it's about building a comprehensive, accessible resource for understanding UFO phenomenon through a blend of technological and human insights. So you're probably wondering what is so special about ET United that other databases do not have. Well, this database or this website is it's going to be a network of live streaming cameras, okay, pointed towards the sky, especially in the areas known for UFO activity. Our SkyCam network allows users to watch real-time footage and directly tag or timestamp any unusual sightings. This initiative will enable us to monitor the skies more effectively than ever before. But we also take it a step further. We're also going to have sections on the website for people to share their dream encounters and spiritual experiences related to UFOs. So we can use AI and analyze these narratives to uncover potential patterns and connections. So if anyone has ever had a dream about a UFO or ETs, and they can go on there and log it down in the dream section, and then the AI will go through and find patterns to see if it correlates with sightings in a certain area, and then this kind of correlate that part into the UAP incident, you know? So here's something really cool about this whole thing. So hotspot cam packages. So people can sign up if they can prove somehow that they live in a hotspot to like submit information to a group or a panel. They review the footage that they've captured and or multiple footages, and they can prove that they're in a hotspot. And then we can send them packages. Or these kits include high quality cameras and a range of environmental sensors. They're they're designed to ease of use, allowing participants to capture both visual and environmental data, adding depth to our understanding of each sighting, so we can overlay data on top of the sightings as well. And there'll also be another section on the website that includes CE5 groups. So people in a CE5 group, you can go on there and you can register as like the spokesperson for that group. And you can upload videos that you've captured during a CE5 and also log in anything else that happens during that CE5. You can log in the location, the time, and everything. And I think that would be another great way to collect more data, especially with CE5s, because there's nobody is collecting data right now with CE5s. And like everyone has their own CE5 groups around the world, and this data is getting lost or not recorded. So I would love to see all the CE5 data in one location as well. ET United is not just a platform, it's a community. We'll have forums for discussion, sharing ideas, and collaboration. We're also exploring partnerships with universities and tech companies to further enhance projects' capabilities. So we'll be able to hopefully create some partnerships with different people who can donate us some good equipment for research. And this brings me over to the funding and support. So to realize this ambitious project, we're looking at various funding sources, including grants, crowdfunding, and strategic partnerships. Your support is crucial for bringing the ET United to life, offering an unprecedented opportunity to advance our understanding of the unknown. I expect the cost to be anywhere between a few $100,000 to $1.5 million, but this can be shortened down dramatically if we can use AI to create the website. while I believe it can be done in one way or another, we can achieve this if we all come together and just put our minds together. I do believe that we could create this, and it's needed very badly because we need a database, a place people can go and watch these live cams or submit their encounters, a safe place that they know that the government has not touched, that the government cannot go onto. So yeah, far as I know, there's been no website like this ever created, especially one that utilizes AI technology and a community like this watching the skies collectively. And I think it will bring momentum to the whole event, to the whole phenomenon, and create more clarity and understanding and create more exposure for the event, the phenomenon itself. So, all in all, to achieve this goal of creating this website, ET United, you have to create the website, either hire someone to create the website or use AI. We need to get a grant or someone or a partnership with a tech company and get the equipment and put the packages and kits together. We also are going to have to establish a group of people that will go through the submissions for people who live in hotspots and see if they are eligible for these kits. I really do believe that this could be a big part of the UAP society itself. It's almost like when MUFON took volunteers to do UFO research on the field, except we're doing this a whole completely different way. Thank you so much for listening and watching my presentation today. I really hope you do consider this idea. I really personally love the idea and I'd love to see it come true. And I will be a spokesperson for the idea if you would like. And I would just keep it going and I would do like meetings and different things, but I don't have to be the spokesperson or the face of the project, but I would like the UAP Society to like be a big part in it, and like this is like the biggest thing that the UAP Society could ever do. But anyway, thank you so much for watching and have a good day or night. Love y'all. Bye.
Okay, excellent. Thank you to Nebula, and sorry for the sound. The sound wasn't couldn't hear it there, but thanks to everyone who's posting these videos. Like I said, again, it's very difficult to go online. I think I really like this idea of humans as sensors, if you think of it that way, because right now we have a lot of humans in the UAP society, right? We're several thousand. And so we have a lot of people, and they come to the UAP Society for a specific reason, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Many of them have these experience or ideas. I've heard another one talk about this. Can we record that information? You know, that again, this is a low cost thing that UAP Society could be doing, is storing the experiencer accounts. I know you're starting to do that, George and Allie, when you guys are interviewing people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But storing that information somewhere. And I don't know, we can't use AI to create a website. At least I don't know. I've been trying to get a human to create it. It takes time and money. But to use AI, we could certainly use AI to see if there's any common themes.
Yeah,
right?
that was my favorite part of that idea too, is that we could use AI to find the commonalities amongst all of these things and then collate the data in such a way that it's easier for us to analyze together.
Because that's what AI is really helpful. What I'm noticing now is you can almost put in a whole book. I tried to put in a whole book last week and ask it to edit my book, but it doesn't work yet. It's not. It was too long.
Oh, okay.
But you can put in many, up to 200,000 characters, I think now, for like cloud AI. So there is a lot of data. That's still, not enough, I think, to really look at across all these experiencer accounts. But it's only going to get better. And if we can start at least recording those accounts of experiencers written down somewhere, or I guess if it is on all these video files, it is written down, because now all our transcripts from all these YouTube videos, you can just go and download the transcript, right? So if people are recorded somewhere, on these experiencer accounts. So that's what I thought about. What was your take on that, George and Leslie? What do you think?
I'd also like to mention that this entry has a lot of potential. There are people that are experiencers who have an ability to summon UFOs at will. For instance, Robert Bingham, he can go outside and he's like, I want you guys to show up. And orbs and aspects of the phenomena actually materialize. So in terms of that potential for people that have this ability, this would be a great thing.
Chris
Yes,
Lehto.
Chris Lehto as well. Yeah.
Getting someone like that, maybe, is that what you're referring to? Maybe find someone or a few people like that inside the society and see if you can leverage them.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Yeah, speaking of, in the chat, Cranial Caffeine writes, exactly. Lots of UAP Society are experiencers who also have technical backgrounds that allow them to see more. In a way, it's like UAP Society's unique database.
Yeah, there's lots of data points within the society that we could leverage, possibly.
Yeah, and we could always like create, new channels to be able to facilitate, data collection and all that kind of stuff.
Do we have a dedicated channel that's just for experiencers to share their stories? I know we've tried it. Yeah. So maybe just driving people to that, at least to start recording it, is a good way just to get it.
Another aspect of that idea that I liked was that if somebody submits enough data, like if you have enough videos that prove that the spot that you're in is like a hot spot for that, providing them with kits, this way they could record even better data. I like empowering people to be able to do that kind of stuff. I don't know what the kits would include, but I just thought it was a cute idea.
Okay. Roach, New York J, we're doing a show right now, but if you post your videos to UAP Society, the Discord, then we will get to it, I think, in time, right? But right now we're going over views. So as long as you loaded it up on the Discord, we'll get to it later. All right, George, you ready for the next video?
All right, this is DJ George. And we are moving to the next video submission. This is from Project Hestelin.
George's second video, he said.
Yeah, there's two from him.
Cool.
Second video, BBBAP. And the description is the use of shelf equipment with smartphones. Get a professional surveillance app developer to adjust their baby monitor or whatever they make to fit the task of a UAP detection system. Then put these in the window at night while charging your phone. Inside, you have the power and the internets. Okay, so here we go. And we are going live.
Let's do it.
Hi, this is Fred Patterson from Project Hestelin. I promised I would come with another suggestion to this project, this competition, so here it is. I'm suggesting that we should utilize the high number of smartphones, and while they are charging at night, we should find off-the-shelf equipment with camera lenses, set engines, and get someone to develop a UAP monitoring app. There are many existing app developers creating baby monitors or monitor system in general. So I think we should collect the money and see if we can get them to develop something for us. And then put this up at night while you're charging, and then upload it. Whatever incidents you get, whatever alarms you get, upload it to the file system, so it can be distributed to whoever wants to analyze these data. And I found out there are close to 7 billion smartphones now. So this is a setup of a friend of me, and as you see, he normally finds UFOs in this area, and he just put his smartphone on a binocular. But it would be nice if we had some kind of equipment. There is so much out there that you can choose. Maybe you would have to, you can just use the camera as it is, or you can find cheap lenses and plug it on. You can find pan tilt zoom, and maybe you can control that with the app to follow the sighting. Even with these baby monitors, they have a pan tilt zoom, but they are not made for looking at something far in the distance. But of course, they have the equipment, so we could ask them, what if you add a better lens? Then these are cameras, and they are using Wi-Fi connected to the phone. So they have all the systems, so we could just pay them to do the job. So you could have good lenses if you want to, not connected to your phone, and then just run it through the phone, the app itself, and you could put this all over, anywhere, any window, basically, where you're charging your phone. But I also have kind of an extra on the same suggestion. Like, what if you have managed to get experience with this kind of equipment? Could you then do something more? So my suggestion is that we look at the experience we have from the smartphones and what we have from the blue box, and try to make a mini blue box. And to keep the electricity, we have some power bank using solar panels, but then we could put them in the valley all over, just find this UFO hotspot. So Hessdalen is one place, and then you could actually find these different hotspots. So you don't have to do it in private homes, but you can do it in the nature and just put it on a tree, put it on a rock. But you can put out a lot of cameras or these sensor systems wherever you have hotspots. And yeah, I have Hessdalen, I have Haugedalane, and the others, I don't know if that's a hotspot. So all in all, use the off-the-shelf equipment to create a cheap surveillance system for smartphones to be active while charging at night, and use the experience to make a mini blue box surveillance system.
Hello, everyone. My name is.
Okay. Yeah, another interesting one from Fred, man.
Yeah, these are.
Yeah. What's your take on this one, guys?
Oh, yeah, these are great ideas. I really like this one. It seems like it has the potential, to really collect a lot of data in a lot of hotspots.
I like that people are like keen to hotspots. They're like really narrowing down where these sightings can be found or like best recorded, and wanting to zero in there. I think that's smart.
Mm-hmm.
There's also a low-cost incursion with respect to these baby monitor cameras that many people have. And with these baby monitors, there is an infrared capability where it allows you to see in the dark.
Yeah, that's interesting, because you all these people, that experiencers, say they're getting visitations at night. So I thought it was interesting. You could use your cell phone if it's just sitting there, charging at night.
Just
what if there's a way just to have that thing recording, and then you don't have to look every night. But say you have some weird experience, now you can go look at the video and be like, did I get anything on video?
Right.
Yeah.
It sounds like it would be again through an app of some sort, if I understand.
That's what he's saying, is you have to have an app.
Which would also log everything, and it would be cool, like the other video, to ping other people in it, so that if you're in the same area, you can just go outside and say, oh, I got an alert that there's something, and then, oh, there it is. I think that's cool.
It kind of reminds me of what they were doing in Utah, in Vernal. Is basically they had these sensors around people's homes, around experiencers' homes, and so when experiencers had some episode, or a visit or something strange happens, then they can go and cross-check the sensors and say, okay, look, there's a spike in this sensor. So it's just to correlate, so experiencers can have something else to tell them they're not crazy. You know, basically, like, okay, there's something else there. So could you just run your phone, like just have your phone recording at night, you know, every night, and then you could just, if you have a crazy experience, then you upload it or you look through the video. You know, that's the manual way to do it. I think, you know, would you even need an app? An app I'm thinking of, what reminds me of this also is Ring, right? Because the Ring doorbell, it's
Oh, the
$100.
Ring cameras, yeah.
And you get $1 million, right? Supposedly, I don't know if it's still going on, but there's $1 million.
I don't know what happened with that.
Yeah, I
prize
forgot about
to
that.
anyone who gets a UFO online or on the camera. So this just it seems like the Ring cameras would be almost perfect for this, and to set up, you know, everyone UAP Society, you know, or whoever's interested in this can sign up for a Ring camera. The problem with those is they're really crappy. You know, it's just it's IR, so it's night vision. It's just really bad night vision. So we're just going to get a bunch of blurry videos that everyone complains about. You know, you're not getting the HD one.
Right. That's something
It's
important
super
to
cheap.
consider.
A lot of blurry sensors, you know, that's what insects use, right? They don't have one really amazing sensor.
Right.
They have 100 little tiny sensors, and yet they can see like way better than us. So maybe like using multiple sensors, you know, cheap sensors, but coordinated. And that's how we got beat in Iraq and Afghanistan, was coordinated improvised explosive devices. You can't find them.
Oh.
They're super cheap.
Sorry.
So you know, that's how a technologically superior enemy can be defeated. It's asymmetric warfare. So a lot of many cheap sensors is a great way to go for low cost. And so I did like this idea, and using the phone at night, you know, you're not even using your phone. And it's like SETI kind of reminds me of that. So taking advantage of the human sensors that we have in the UAP Society, I think that is we have information that you guys brought out on the experiencers, and then this is interesting as well. So cool.
Good entry.
Yeah,
good
good
entry.
idea.
Hesla Den comes out with some good ideas. Seems well researched.
They're good. Project Heston. Awesome. All right, let's get to the next one.
Okay, and this next submission is from YouTuber Edgar Spiffy, and this goes for about 16 minutes. Would you like
16?
Me to
okay.
Would you like me to keep this at regular speed, or?
Let's see. Yeah, if we can speed it up, that'd be good. But let's see how the sound is. Hopefully, the sound is good on this one.
Okay, I will start off with 1.25 speed, turning on closed caption.
Awesome.
And here we go.
Let's do it.
Hello everyone, my name is Edgar and this is my submission for the UAP Society Video Challenge. Now the application I'm proposing is going to tackle how to collect better data, how to organize that data, and how to encourage community involvement. So let's get started. So the biggest bottleneck, or one of the biggest bottlenecks, is just phone quality, right? The phone camera quality. It's not meant to film long distance. It's meant for family photos, selfies, indoor photos, right? But not capturing long distance objects. However, most everybody in the world has a phone with a camera on it. So I don't want to limit that. I don't want to take that kind of accessibility away by having to come up with some fancy tech or having to buy expensive equipment or having to come up with some crazy camera revolutionizing technology. No, I want to work with what we have currently, and I want to work with the masses so we can gather as much data as possible. So my solution to cameras kind of being not so optimal for long distance is having multiple points of view, right? Having same directional view to help capture and identify something that we may be seeing off into the distance. And here's a scenario that I'm going to run by you. And this is pretty much is going to encompass the idea of the application. And now I'll get more into the technology and kind of some of the features down the like later on in this video. So here's a map of a city near me. And let's say person A up here sees something off into the distance and he's like, oh, what's, you know, I see something, I don't know what it is. It might be a UAP. I don't want to miss my opportunity. I'm going to try and capture it. So they take out their phone and they start recording in that general direction. And again, we know these phones, the qualities aren't perfect, but it's better than nothing, right? So as soon as they start recording through the app, every other person in the area that has the app is going to get a notification of like, hey, someone's recording. It may be something remarkable. You should jump in and help out by recording yourself, right? So the application is going to ping everybody else in the general area. Hey, there's something going on. So just a notification on their phone. Hey, help us capture something. That way we have everybody that wants to participate kind of jumping in and shooting in the same direction. Now I'm going to show you kind of like actual real world examples here. Now, these are the 3 vantage points that I was filming. Now I'm filming. You can see here I'm filming 2 palm trees off to the distance. Now, again, one video is okay. You can tell what it is in this example, but let's say it's a little bit difficult to identify. At that point, it would help to have multiple viewpoints, right? Point A, point B, point C, all pointing in the same general direction. And then later on, we can sync up the videos based on time, and yeah, just have kind of like an actual representation of what is being seen with all these different cameras, right? Based on the time it's being shot. So we can just sync them up, which I think will be extremely useful. Same directional view. So I was looking for applications that already have this type of technology, because why reinvent the wheel? So I found this application called Night Sky. Now on here on the example on the right hand side, I typed in Big Dipper and it's trying to tell me where to point my camera. So I'm sure the way this works is there's some coordinates. The phone knows which direction it's looking at and it's telling me, hey, you look towards these coordinates. So I know that this exists. I know this is possible. So we can take the same principle here and apply it to the application idea. So as soon as person A sees the object it's trying to identify, it can ping all the coordinates to everybody else, and we can have a way to tell them, hey, look in this general vicinity or in this direction. Again, we want to capture as many vantage points, as many viewpoints as possible. We're trying to overcompensate for the cameras not being kind of suited for long distance. And then on top of that, with same directional views, one thing, and I'm sure you guys feel the same way, one thing that really bugs me is every time I see a video online, on Reddit, on YouTube, of a UFO or something remarkable up in the skies, for some reason, the camera always cuts out. Like, they film for 5 or 10 seconds and they're done. And it blows my mind that people do that. So a little quick reminder that we can include on the application is, hey, keep filming, give us a minute minimum. We just want to gather data. Because it'll help us either, hey, validate that this is something remarkable, or hey, we can dismiss this, right? Because if you keep filming longer, we might see what's actually happening, or you might capture something incredible, right? So as you're filming, a little reminder, keep filming, please don't stop, just keep filming. And then after they're done filming, I think it's extremely important for the user, the person that captured the event, to input some data, right? And we're going to make all this data uniformly, so everybody's going to have kind of the same options. And in this case, we're going to use the 5 characteristics uniques to UAP, right? Instant acceleration, low visibility, transmedium travel, positive lift, no signatures. And in this case, right, let's say I was looking at some 2 palm trees, but I didn't see the tree trunk. And I'm thinking, you know what, that has like no signatures and it's like flying, or positive lift, right? I can click on that and it just gets submitted into a database that I'm going to go into. But it's just a way for a user to provide more input, but also a way to kind of have it all uniformly organized the same way, or have a structure to it. And this is what I mean. So with more data, right, with the video we're gathering, we're capturing, we're getting a couple things. We're getting location, time, phone. So is it iPhone? Is it a Galaxy phone? Is it a Google phone? Type of camera. I personally have the iPhone 14, and that phone has like 3 cameras, right? So maybe that has an effect. Video length. So how long the video goes for. Linked recordings. So how many other people jumped in to help capture this video with you, right? And then we can add some geographical areas. And this can be done automatically in the background, so the users don't have to do this manually. We can just kind of retroactively program this in. So is it near airports? Is it near the ocean? Are there mountains nearby? What are weather conditions? Direction of observation, etc. And then again, the 5 observables here, we can just include them. Oops, sorry, I'm jumping around as well, right? And then YN, it's just yes, no. It's just a Boolean data entry. I forgot to include it on these ones, or near mountains. So just ignore that. So why is this important, right? Why are we bothering to collect so much data? Well, once we have that data, we can kind of organize it into a database, right? I said location, time of day, type of phone, camera. So this is just gibberish for now. But what we could do once we have enough data, we can start querying the database to give us useful information back. So like, here's some examples. So show me all the videos with the minimum of 3 viewpoints, all showing instant acceleration, right? So pretty much, was there an event where there's 3 different angles where everybody reported that they saw instant acceleration? If so, you can retrieve that, right? And these are just SQL, like SQL commands. I'm obviously putting them out in plain English, but the principle's still the same, right? Show me all locations that has had 30 entries or more in the last 6 months that are not near airports, right? So why would we want this? Well, this will help us identify hotspots, right? If Las Vegas, or if like Palmdale is lighting up like Christmas trees, like, well, something's going on there, right? Show me all videos showing 2 UAP characteristics or more in Albuquerque, New Mexico, right? Maybe you have some interest in certain areas because you live near them, right? Maybe I'm going to look up cities near my county where I live, right? And see if I can find something that might be remarkable, right? And you can just kind of get creative, structure these questions to pull as much data or pull the data you need. But we can get very kind of granular. So for example, on this second example that are not near airports, and I put that specifically because what if it's, what if we just know by gathering data that it's airports just have a higher traffic because people don't really know there's an airport there. So that's why there's a lot of sightings in those general areas. Community. So I pretty much went over what the application's main functionality is. Now I was trying to think of ways to incentivize people to just kind of get involved and kind of help help everyone in the journey to like get more intel on UAPs. So on the right hand side, there's I call it a heat map, and it's from Snapchat. That's their UI, and it shows you where people are uploading videos from, right? Well, I think we can do the same thing for a UAP society application, where we can show where there's a lot of activity happening, right? Which would be phenomenal, because then if it's near where you live, you might be inclined to go out and kind of see if you can capture something yourself, right? So yeah, you can see recent sightings near me, view hotspots. We can kind of, these are all just things we can query to the database and make it displayable with UI. Here's another example. This is a screenshot from an Instagram page. I just typed in city, and then right here was just the screenshot. But what if it was like just things that people were seeing up in the sky, and this number can be an indicator of like, oh, there's 2 viewpoints or 3 viewpoints capture this event, or whatever it may be. Even if it's one, we shouldn't dismiss it. But I'm just trying to kind of help compensate for the cameras that the camera quality that we have. And then another thing I wanted to kind of go over, and see if I skip the slide. Sorry, I'm going around. Interaction review. I guess part of the community that we can kind of jump into is I often hear either pilots or people in other countries say that when they get asked how often do you see UFOs, UAPs, how often is this going on in your region, and people would say that it happens every day or every other day, and it blows my mind that people claim that this is so frequent. And with that knowledge, no one's going out there with a kind of like with the intentions of capturing something on camera, right? Or maybe they do and it hasn't happened. But we'll be able to track this with the database where we're all kind of just dumping information into, because we'll know where the hotspots are. And then if some of us are local or willing to travel, it might be worth the shot to go out there, find a good spot to just kind of wait out and try and record. And you don't have to record with your phones anymore, because at this point this is just to gather amass as much data as possible and kind of have it all be uniformed. But once you know where to go look, because we tracked and we kind of figured out where things are happening, you can come with your own equipment and stuff and then upload it on here as well, and we'll find a way to do that. But right now I'm trying to kind of leverage what is available, and that's cell phones and the help and power of people, right? And then another thing that I'm rambling at this point. I already got the main idea out. I'll get back to this last point. Technology, right? I'm not reinventing the wheel with this idea at all. All this technology already exists, and like for example, Instagram. Anytime someone goes live, everybody gets notified. Especially if not everybody, but if you follow that person, you get notified. So we can do the same thing. If someone's recording near you, you should get a notification. Snapchat has the heat map, the activity map, so we can represent with the interface where there's a lot of activity. Night Sky is the application I showed you that shows you where to point the camera, right, if you're looking for something. So they have a way of doing that. Easy Measure, I didn't include that application on this presentation, but they have a way of kind of measuring distance from where you're filming, your height from the ground, and that might be helpful. I just added that in there in case someone can find good use for that or that information, because again, we're trying to feed the database. It's kind of our goal: collect as much data, make it as painless for people, right? I don't want them to have to go back, upload the video, do a lot of work. No, this is the point of this, is to make it as easy and as simple. And this is the part where you can cut off. I'm just gonna ramble a little, or
okay, let's cut it then. That was actually good. I didn't hear. Does he have that app made? I couldn't tell there. The sound was down.
I don't believe he did.
Okay. I mean, that's a great idea. I think that's another way. Can we leverage things people already have? And what do we have? We have people that are interested, right? So we have humans as sensors, and then everyone out there as a human is going to have a cell phone in their pocket. And like I said, if you can mass your crappy sensors together, then that can
Right.
make up for like really good sensors 24 hours, right? Because we have so many out there. So I think that's another idea. Is it possible? What do you guys think on that one?
I was thinking that the prompts that this potential app has, to remind the witness to keep recording, hold the camera still. There should also be another section where you can type in the app what kind of cell phone you have, number one. Number two, it's also been said that many people who capture or witness UAP in the sky, they subsequently have additional experiences after the fact, like they have strange dreams, or they get more visitations from these objects. It should include a phenomenology experiential aspect, like what are some of the psychological or maybe psi abilities that you've noticed that are happening to you that haven't happened before. Yeah. And also number three, it would be interesting if it would be able to be cross-referenced with pre-existing repositories such as MUFON, if they can partner with MUFON and cross-collaborate the data that way.
That's a great idea. I think just on your first point, he did say that they will get the camera from the metadata, I think, on the app. So he did mention that. I think that
He did.
But I think that's great points on what you brought up, George. Any additional points, Allie?
I really liked that he included the 5 observables just to keep it like scientific as you can get. A lot of people just pointing a camera at the sky going, oh, look, I got one. That's not good enough for everybody. So including which of the 5 observables, was present or going on during that time. And then even something else as specific as the directionality of where the camera was pointing. That's also significant.
And the fact that it could give everybody else who has that app in your area a notification saying, hey, look at this part of the sky.
Yeah, this specific part of the sky.
It seems like a really good idea.
That's the best benefit for me is if you can create an app or if it exists already that gives that real-time information.
Yeah.
You'd have to have a lot of people though on the network.
Right.
To make that a reality.
That also reminds me of something in terms of research that Steve Mera had mentioned, that oftentimes when people see UAP in the sky, the average length of time, and I'm playing devil's advocate here as to why these films are so short, average length of time for these sightings are roughly anywhere from 20 to 35 seconds.
Okay.
Well, some of these
that is
objects
kind of a
just
long
move
time
so
to film
fast.
something though.
Yeah.
Yeah, and your other point also was interesting, George. It seems like a lot of people have this idea, right? It seems kind of like an obvious idea, I think, is why not use everyone's cell phones that it's already in their pocket. So it seems like
work
why
smarter,
hasn't
not
anyone
harder,
made an
right?
app, I guess.
Work smarter, not harder. Like utilize what you already have with the people that are already interested in it, instead of going out and reinventing the wheel, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the idea, George, you mentioned about looking at MUFON databases. It'd be interesting to see if we can access, if there's any contestant videos about looking into old databases such as that to gain these ideas of where the hotspots are, et cetera. What did you think, Leslie?
I think it's great. Again, having the app and being able to notify other people, I think is an awesome thing. And that's just more people looking at the same object with different chance for everybody to record it or do whatever they can to collect data, however that's happening. But I like the app ideas, and multiple people have that.
It'd be great to have this app, but it doesn't exist. Is it worth it for us? what you can do is actually buy apps. You can look on the App Store, because there's millions of apps actually that aren't making any money. You could have an app that actually does this for a different reason. Maybe it's like Night Tracker or something, Sky Tracker.
Oh, right.
Right.
So
like
where you could offer them something cheap, like, hey, we'll give you some low amount of money to buy your app, and then you put a new face on it. So it's like reusing a tool that's already been made. So what would be awesome if he's like, and we can buy this app, it already exists, and it's $2,000 or something. So if anyone knows of any apps out there that do something similar, some sort of video capture app that gives real-time notifications, I think that would be amazing.
If you know of any, drop them in the chat so we can utilize that later.
Okay, yeah. Or people watching this later. So hopefully, hopefully all the NFT holders watch this, at least do a run through. So let's keep it moving.
All right, on to the next one. Let's go.
Getting fatigued. What
number are we on?
8. I think we're on 8.
All right.
8. Okay.
This
Hopefully
next one is from UAP or YouTube member Cranial Caffeine. Title is Green Fireball.
Excellent.
And
It's in the chat. Welcome.
This bad boy goes for 30 minutes. So, crew,
Okay.
what do you want to do? What speed do you want to play this?
He
bad
said we
boy
can
at?
play it 2 times. Let's put it that just for this, and since it's 30 minutes.
Copy that.
He's in the chat as well. So explain if we misunderstand anything, you can let us know.
All right, let's play. Here we go.
The submission is for the UAP Society Project Idea Challenge. This project idea is a pattern recognition algorithm identifying UAP subset green fireball. The presentation will start with my original motivation for being interested in green fireballs, move on to an executive summary, briefly discuss who needs this algorithm, continue with somewhat of a lecture, the background of the 5 observables of UAP, background of fireballs and green fireballs, and then what I propose are the 5 observables for green fireballs. We'll continue on with a discussion of who can use this immediately, and my final evidence for geographic correlation between UAP and fireball, and finish just with a quick final summary. My motivation for this video is my own sighting of a green fireball late in the year 2020, and what or who came afterwards a few weeks later. On December 21st, 2020, around dusk, 2 bright stars appeared low in the sky, right next to each other. Those stars were actually the planets Jupiter and Saturn. When 2 planets are aligned, so they appear almost on top of each other to observers here on Earth, astronomers call it a conjunction. A particular conjunction that occurred on December 21st, 2020 is very rare. Astronomers have a special name for it, the Great Conjunction, and it is also known as the Christmas star. I'd set my telescope out by the side of the road near my home to view the Christmas star with companion around 6:30 p.m. Just when I had the telescope focused on the 2 planets, my companion said, "Hey, look at that." I looked up from the telescope and saw 3 glowing orange-red craft flying very slowly in a row across the street from me about 50 to 60 feet in the air, just above the townhouses. My first instinct was to spin the telescope around to look at the craft through it, which I did do. The 3 dissolved into the early evening sky as UFOs tend to do, just after passing over a traffic light a short distance away, like glowing coals dipping beneath the surface of an opaque blue liquid. I was out riding my road bike on the same road only a few days later, a few hours earlier in the day, and I watched a few large black helicopters flying the exact same route as the UFOs had. When I saw the helicopters, I knew immediately they were retracing the UFO's flight path. There's a lot more to both of those stories, but they're not the story. The story actually starts a few weeks prior to December 21st, 2020. Once again, I was out riding my road bike on that same road near my home around dusk. Thanks super clear, darkening blue skies with lots of darker red and orange accents. I just started my ride when I noticed a few bright stars dropping from a high altitude a great distance away. 2 faded away quickly, but the 3rd grew brighter, became green, and grew a short golden tail. It was heading straight down, and I thought, wow, I'm watching a shooting star, cool. As I rode on, the green star just stopped dropping. Its tail disappeared, and it seemed just to hang there. I kept riding, watching the star grow larger. And as the road began to curve, I could see the flight path of the green star from the side, in profile. At this point, I stopped riding and just stood with my bike by the side of the road. It was actually coming right towards me. It still had a golden tail and was moving at an unnaturally slow pace. It didn't make sense. It passed directly over my head, perhaps 40 or 50 feet above. I'm an engineer, and just watching this thing moving that slowly, there was no way inertia alone was keeping it in the air. It was defying gravity. My immediate thought was, man, if this thing drops out of the sky right now, I'm going to die. And yet I was calm, maybe even serene. My second thought was that it actually wasn't a pure green. It just looked that way until you were right up on it. My third thought was that it wasn't a natural object, that it was some kind of ET probe moving with intention, searching with purpose, and it was definitely defying gravity. The green fireball made no noise. It left no trail of smoke or otherwise. I watched it disintegrate without a flash or an explosion, just as it passed over the same traffic light that the UAP and helicopters would pass over a few weeks later. That green fireball was one of the most engaging, most fascinating things I've ever experienced. The project manager in me wanted to be involved, to study these things, to coordinate or participate in some kind of technical capacity. The UAP experiencer in me wanted only one thing, to speak to whoever was flying that green fireball face to face, and I still want that. That's my story. Next, I will describe what I propose are the 5 observables of green fireballs and how I think they can be used by several sophisticated technologies already in use today. What I describe herein is what I personally witnessed through the eyes of an engineer. Executive summary. I propose the 5 observables for green fireballs have already been identified. The idea is to create a pattern recognition software algorithm that analyzes digital video files according to the 5 observables for green fireballs, and to integrate that algorithm into existing Sky 360 and other UAP detection systems, and to make that open source. Using this algorithm, we can investigate whether green fireball sightings precede or occurred during other UAP sightings. We can determine whether green fireball sightings are predictive of where other UAP sightings will occur, and we can enable citizen scientists to study these phenomena on their own. Secondarily, we need to create an initiative to integrate green fireball detection into existing fireball detection networks, analyzing their historic data. Perhaps we call this the UAP Society Green Fireball Initiative. Execution, timeline, and cost. Algorithm development will be straightforward. It's a combination of 2 existing algorithms. There's less work, so development will happen faster. 3 months are allotted for this task. The cost should be low. We're using pre-existing code. We should discuss the least expensive way to do this with Sky 360. This is where I consider project funds being spent. To reduce costs further, we should combine all algorithm requests from this contest into a single package. In 2021, the ODNI released a preliminary report on UAP, which contained the language, UAP sightings also tended to cluster around US training and testing grounds. The UAP task force is looking for novel ways to increase collection of UAP cluster areas. One proposal is to use advanced algorithms to search historic data captured and stored by radars. The US Air Force began a 6-month pilot program in November 2020 to collect in the most likely areas to encounter UAP. The FAA captures data related to UAP during the normal course, and the FAA is able to isolate data of interest to the UAP task force and make it available. According to Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick, director of the All Domain Anomalies Resolution Office, or ARROW, identifying where to look for UAP is still a challenge as of 2023. He states, what you'll notice is that there is a heavy collection bias, both in altitude and geographic location. That's where all of our sensors exist. That's where all of our training and operational ranges are. That's where all of our platforms are. Publicly, we're told there is limited UAP sighting data available to ARROW, and that it is of low quality. However, there are several technological platforms in widespread use today that do reliably detect meteoritic fireballs in our atmosphere. Using those systems in conjunction with a green fireball detection algorithm, I propose ARROW and other government agencies can vastly improve their UAP sighting rates. If green fireballs do precede or occur simultaneously with other UAP sightings, then existing meteoritic fireball detection systems equipped with this algorithm will provide a rapid detection system for UAP as they appear in an area, or may even predict where and when UAP sightings will occur in the future. Who else needs this? We do, citizen scientists. Background. What are UAP? Authors Cooper, Blumenthal, and Keene in December of 2017 made the world aware of unidentified aerial phenomena with their article in the New York Times. And by 2020, UFO footage was available to the public. In 2019, Luis Elizondo of the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, or ATIP, identified the 5 observables for UAP to the world. Inclusively, these are anti-gravity, sudden acceleration, hypersonic velocity without signature, low observability, and trans-medium travel. Software applications today and UAP detection systems use those observables and algorithms to track UAP. Also, it is safe to say as of 2019, the public had technical, if not actual, UAP awareness. Here are 2 UAP detection systems, Sky 360 on the left, UFO DAP on the right. Notably, Sky 360 is open source. Background. What are fireballs? Meteoroids are rocky or metallic fragments of asteroids that are floating around in outer space. Meteors are meteoroids which have entered into our planet's atmosphere. We call meteors fireballs when they start to burn up in our atmosphere. They can have different colors which depend on what elements they're composed of. Meteorites are the name we give to meteors that do not burn up completely and actually impact the ground. The intense heat and friction of an incoming meteor can ionize the air all around and produce a greenish glow. Green fireballs, however, slow down and change direction when they reach a certain altitude. They level out and they move slowly. They cover long distances that way. Witnesses describe feeling as though these things are probes as they pass overhead. Green fireballs seem to decrease as they go, vaporizing or disintegrating. They move silently, and they do not leave trails of dust, fumes, or smoke. Many speculate green fireballs are a subclass of UAP, if not of meteor. Meteors move differently. Meteors will maintain their trajectories until they explode, combust, or impact the Earth. Graphically, this is the flight path of a green fireball. In step 1, they appear as a meteor incoming with a green glow. However, at a certain altitude, they rapidly level off, slowing down. And by step 3, they're moving parallel with the Earth. They are silent, no fumes or smoke are reported. And by step 4, they're moving very slowly. However, the meteor in step 1 maintains its trajectory, and it burns up, explodes, or impacts the ground and becomes a meteorite. We assume it is a natural event. So for step 1, we use the algorithm for a meteor. And for steps 2, 3, and 4, we use the algorithm for an airplane on approach. Green fireballs have been exposed to the public since the days of Roswell. In the late 40s, nuclear scientists reported seeing them often, operating under intelligent control. You know via declassified documents that green fireballs were a primary concern for our government over 70 years ago. In February of 1949, a secret conference was held between defense, intelligence, and the most respected scientists in an effort to determine what green fireballs were. The transcript of that conference details a truly fascinating exchange that is recommended reading. 2 individuals in particular, Dr. Edward Teller and Dr. Lincoln LaPaz, tried to discern the physics behind green fireball behavior without success. As with flying saucers, green fireballs became classified officially as unidentified aerial phenomena and are still considered so to this day by many. The U.S. government actually built a network of green fireball observation and photographic units. This was called Project Twinkle, and it ran between 1949 and 1951. In its final report, it described green fireballs as nothing more than natural. In contrast, Time magazine produced an article titled Great Balls of Fire. It openly discussed the green fireball phenomenon, and it contained technical traits discussed as a matter of fact. Then, in 1953, Edward Ruppelt, as director of Blue Book, wrote of interviews he had had with scientists and technicians at Los Alamos the year before. He noted many thought that the fireballs were actually extraterrestrial probes. The previous slides are meant to demonstrate the common traits of green fireballs, as separate from meteors, bolides, and meteorites, have been well established for almost 70 years now. Further examination is beyond the scope of this video. However, I very highly recommend you are watching the 2 YouTube videos, the links shown. UFO historian and researcher Richard Dolan, on his YouTube channel Intelligent Disclosure, provides an outstanding summary of the green fireball UAP topic, and, in my opinion, his presentations elucidate the reasons why the subject of green fireballs aren't a part of the mainstream UAP discussion today. As of 2023, several decades of data suggest at least 5 observables exist for green fireballs. I propose these are descending steeply like a meteor, suddenly slowing down and leveling off with the ground, continued slow flight as an anti-gravity until disintegration, a green glowing core and no smoke, and silent movement. Thinking through the basic algorithm, we break this into 5 components. Steps 1 through 4 are movement with an appearance. Step 5 is silence or otherwise. Step 1, we're using the meteor algorithm. Steps 2, 3, and 4, we're using the airplane algorithm. The software scans the sky for meteors using a meteor algorithm in step 1. At the altitude when the meteor changes speed and course and becomes a green fireball, we substitute the airplane on approach algorithm. If green fireballs are probes, hiding them first as a meteor and then as an airplane suggests an intelligent design. If that is the case, then a software patch for existing UAP detection systems or something by open sources might happen fast. If we can detect green fireballs, we may be able to detect flaps of them or multiples of them in the same location. If we can do that and we can track UAP, we might see a correlation between the two through time. It has been reported that green fireballs precede UAP sightings or at least occur at the same time. If that is the case, we may have an early detection system for UAP sightings via this algorithm. Further, it would allow citizen scientists to re-examine the significance of this phenomenon, possibly publishing new findings. Now, let's examine existing global fireball detection systems that can immediately utilize green fireball detection algorithms to identify UAP activity, and we'll cover potential initial sites for deployment. Outreach activities with all of these groups should be conducted by something like the proposed UAP Society Green Fireball Initiative, which would happen in parallel with algorithm development. In 2019, it was determined that the geostationary lightning mapper instrument aboard United States GOES weather satellites was also capable of detecting fireballs, also known as bolides. Then in 2022, in partnership with the NASA JPL Center for Near-Earth Studies, the U.S. Space Force released decades of fireball data to the public. Over 3 decades of global fireball activity are shown in this plot. Outreach by UAP Society Green Fireball Initiative to the Center for Near-Earth Object Studies can be made to determine whether and how to apply green fireball detection algorithms to the GOES GLM. Consider this map of fireball detection and the companion chart to the right. In only 5 years, nearly 6,000 fireballs have been detected by either or both the GOES East and GOES West satellites. The satellite network is proven capable of detecting fireballs, and if it can identify green fireballs specifically, may represent an invaluable resource to Aero and citizen scientists alike. Compare this detection map to that of the ODNI and Aero, presented this year, 2023, for their UAP detections and capabilities. The GOES-R series of satellites represent the most advanced geostationary weather satellite technology available today. These monitor both the airspace over land and sea, are operated by our eminent space and oceanic associations NASA and NOAA, and represent robust platforms that can utilize green fireball detection through at least 2036. SETI Institute, in partnership with NASA Ames Research Center and the American Meteor Society, provides a means for reporting fireballs online. They have made publicly available fireball log data from the year 2005 to present, and are a part of the Global Fireball Observatory, which I will describe shortly. Often, the stated purpose of tracking fireballs is to determine where to search for potential meteorites, to recover meteorite material, and potentially metamaterials. However, inclusion of green fireball detection algorithm into their systems and updating their fireball reporting form to include the 5 observables of green fireballs can also represent an invaluable resource to Aero and citizen scientists. An outreach effort by a UAP Society Green Fireball Initiative to SETI, NASA Ames, and the American Meteor Society will be made in parallel with green fireball algorithm development as part of this project. 2 additional groups focused on monitoring and studying meteor activity include the International Meteor Organization and the Meteoritical Society. Both groups' websites provide links to report fireballs online, and both groups' links feedback to the American Meteor Society's online reporting mechanism. This is advantageous to this project as it allows us to focus our efforts while drawing from a larger pool of users. Of note, the Meteoritical Society promotes its annual meeting for July of 2024, where a UAP Society Green Fireball Initiative may present its progress and data to date, and to network with other scientific bodies interested in the field. The Global Fireball Observatory, or GFO, represents massive potential for detection of green fireball activity. They are partnered with institutions and monitoring networks around the world. Their adoption of a green fireball algorithm and methodology could greatly enhance UAP detection capabilities for Aero and other UAP investigators, and re-legitimize the UAP status of green fireballs in general. As part of this project proposal, the UAP Society Green Fireball Initiative may consider its own green fireball and UAP reporting phone app, which feeds into and utilizes their and/or the Meteor Society's architecture and database. The GFO partners with at least 18 different institutions around the globe. A UAP Society Green Fireball Initiative may find partners who can utilize a green fireball detection algorithm and methodology worldwide through cooperation with the GFO. The GFO partners with at least 10 different monitoring networks around the globe. These represent working units with functional observational setups and skilled individuals that can offer technical expertise in the development of a green fireball algorithm, and also in the refinement of the algorithm on an ongoing basis. Through associations between the UAP Society and Dr. Tim Gallaudet, a UAP Society Green Fireball Initiative would benefit not only from his expertise, but also from his former relationship with NOAA and his ongoing relationship with the Galileo Project, headed by Dr. Avi Loeb, a world thought leader in astronomy, UAP, fireballs, and meteorites. A link is provided to the highly recommended Lehto Files YouTube interview, Admiral Revelations, Underwater UFOs. Finally, through the UAP Society and the Lehto Files, unique opportunities exist for initial deployment of a green fireball algorithm into known UAP hotspots. Project Hestelin, located in Norway, has a pre-existing research team with extensive UAP detection equipment located strategically throughout the area. Lehto Files has previously participated in scientific research endeavors with the group actually on location and has an excellent rapport with their research team. A link is provided to the highly recommended Lehto Files YouTube interview, one of a series of several video interviews and on-location work titled Finding UAPs in Norway with Project Hestelin's tech director. As part of this project, one or more members would seek to work directly with Project Hestelin in the development, refinement, deployment and validation of the green fireball algorithm and methodologies. Project funds may be spent to purchase one or more UAP detection systems, such as Sky 360, for installation at this site for the purpose. Mount Wilson Ranch, a known UAP hotspot, would make an ideal location for one or more UAP detection stations utilizing a green fireball detection algorithm. Explorer, investigator, and YouTube creator Carl the Crusher has collaborated with Chris Lehto in the past doing innovative research at the ranch and is actually a member of the UAP Society. As part of this project, one or more members would seek to work directly with Carl Crusher and Jeff McBurney, owner of Mount Wilson Ranch, in the development, refinement, deployment, and validation of green fireball algorithm and methodologies. Project funds may be spent to purchase one or more UAP detection systems, such as Sky 360, for installation at this site for the purpose. Lastly, one of, if not the most famous of all UAP hotspots is Skinwalker Ranch. If the green fireball phenomenon is present at Skinwalker, then this location represents either an ideal testbed for a green fireball detection algorithm or the eventual goal for a validated green fireball algorithm to be deployed into. Skinwalker's staff and contributors are among the most qualified UAP investigators on the planet, and they have an extensive network of advanced UAP detection equipment, which already provides data to the public online. A UAP Society Green Fireball Initiative would seek to make any relationships and obtain any advisement possible here. Final evidence. UAP and fireball sightings correlate geographically. This is the heat map provided by Arrow. It has been distorted to overlay approximately well with the GFO observatory locations map. And this is the overlay of those two maps. Where UAP data are reporting, we find fireball observatories. Interestingly, at least in the southern part of South America, in the UK, and in Australia, we do not show UAP data reporting. To summarize, the project proposes to create a software algorithm to detect green fireballs. 3 months are allotted for this task. Project funds will be spent on software development and purchase of UAP detection systems for initial development and deployment. An outreach group would be created in parallel immediately to contact organizations already tracking green fireballs. Thank you to the UAP Society for the opportunity to present this project idea, and thank you for watching.
Amazing video, man. Thank you. Cranial. I think I may know who you are, and that's awesome. Yeah, about the green fireballs. I really like this idea because green fireballs are also what they use to detect meteors, like they saw there. So there's already all these sensors. There's already all these sensors out there, hundreds of sensors looking for green fireballs, because that's what meteors normally, that's what happens normally with meteors. So as Cranial was saying, there is this green fireball is going back. And I do remember hearing about green fireballs when they were talking about the Fermi paradox, right? When those scientists were talking about it at in New Mexico, Fermi and the other people there, weren't there supposed green balls outside flying around?
Yeah, I believe so.
I personally, I enjoyed watching that because it made me think about an experience that I had going. We were driving through the night to the Grand Canyon, and we were coming into the Grand Canyon, and it was basically dawn, like it was about to be sunrise. And I was sleeping in the passenger seat, and my friend who was driving the car, you know, shook me and woke me up to look. And I woke up and looked out the windshield to see this huge fireball, like in slow motion, taking up the windshield, like the entire, I mean, it was just the most amazing thing to wake up and watch this. It was literally like surreal and slow motion. And you know, it did have like an outline of a greenish like blue, and it had a tail. And I remember trying to see if it landed. It was silent. You know, it was just like very interesting, but I just throw that out there. But yeah, so that's cool to know that it could have been something else. I mean, if there was questions regarding,
that's what he said there about the green fireball.
Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. I like, so he mentions here, because he's in the chat. So all of the publicly shared satellite data tracks fireballs. We just need an algorithm for the public to use to sort through and find the UAPs. So basically it's all being tracked out there. That's a great point by all these organizations. I knew about the American Meteor Society, but I didn't know about all these other the fireball trackers. But that's great to know. Can we tap into that fireballs and see? Because what if some of those things aren't fireballs? You know, can you look at that, and if it doesn't act exactly like a meteor, then maybe it can be flagged. We can flag it as, could this be a potential video? So I liked it.
Yeah, great idea.
Excellent.
I like the Sky 360 collab mention and collab too, you know?
Yeah, excellent video. Yeah, I recommend anybody watches that video to get a good update on at least green fireballs. So thanks for sharing. All right, let's get to the next one. That's it. Yeah, Noah as well. So yeah, the STR also mentioned that weather satellite data. It's interesting. All right, George, ready to go? Unless you have any inputs, I'm just powering through.
Oh, really quick. I think one of the, I guess,
Yep.
critiques in terms of a prosaic explanation, my brother-in-law, he's actually part of the Meteorologic Society. And, you know, I remember him telling me that, you know, green meteorites or fireballs account for 1% of these things coming through the sky. But in terms of the chemical composition, they're comprised of things like iron and nickel, along with trace amounts of sulfur, calcium, and aluminum, as well as the supposed trajectory changes of these green fireballs. The main theory is that when these meteors or fireballs enter the Earth's atmosphere and from the heat, the trajectory changes can possibly be attributed to these chemicals outgassing and thereby changing the directory. So that might be a main critique in terms of a prosaic explanation. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So the explosion of those gases, as they heat up, you get off-gassing. So it's like Oumuamua when it's off-gassing. Something like that can change the trajectory.
Correct.
Yeah, that's the general theory.
Okay. Excellent. All right, let's keep going.
Next.
Just kill everybody. And if you have time constraints, no worries if you have to leave. But hopefully everybody watches this later. All right.
Don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe,
Excellent.
share the video, all that good stuff.
Excellent.
I'm not in the
Thanks for being
chat,
there.
so.
Thanks for being here, Leslie. All right.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks for all your moderation duties as well. Thanks.
Thank you. You're welcome.
All right. If you're ready, George, I'll play it.
What are we doing?
I am ready. This next video comes from UAP Society Discord member James the Brain himself.
All right, let's hear it.
All right, this one is about 8 minutes, and I will go ahead and hit play. Do you want me to put it on 1.2 speed?
Why don't we go 1.25 if everyone's happy with that? 1.25, 1.25, one up.
All right, 1.25. Here we go.
Hey, everybody, it's James Coddington here. I am grateful that you're here to take a look at this.
Okay, sounds difficult.
It's gotten whittled down from crazy videos, the content, so much stuff.
At the very last minute.
I was like, man, I gotta at least try. So the super whittled down, written on a napkin style presentation is here. I mean, ready to get this to you. And let's get started. Thank you very much. Right, so what's the problem? The problem is we want to address decentralized disclosure. We need to get it out there. We need to get people educated. We need people to be aware. They need to think a lot more about getting discoveries and things in general that they care about minted and up on the blockchain. I think that that's still very important, and I think it will be important for the foreseeable future, unless there's like a quantum computing crack or some other, you know, maybe a Q star knows how to hack it, but which is possible actually, I think. So I digress. So that's the problem. How are we going to solve this problem? We know there's lots of failed solutions: centralized data repositories, standard whistleblower platforms, public forums, social media groups. Everything is still sequestered. The real civilization-altering, high-energy solutions are still locked far away. They are deeply embedded and deeply rooted. So moving forward, we need to prevent this from happening. We need to get people thinking about decentralized data, decentralized contracts, decentralized anything. So my mission is to entertain and educate the general public on the benefits of decentralized disclosure. You may establish, to establish a secure, anonymous, and decentralized platform for the safe disclosure and preservation of scientific data. Enigma, your high strangeness game experience. Now, you're probably wondering, how is this related to disclosure, decentralized disclosure? You shall see. You'll notice the, everything here is kind of in a very rough state. I do like my logo. It's cool. It's got that, secret dimension, which is definitely along the lines of what we're talking about here. So Enigma is a third-person survival, adventure, and puzzle game. I have been doing some experiments in Unreal here, and I would see this game as being in Unreal. Let's talk about what it does. The game breakdown is that it is a journey into high strangeness. This game focuses on UAP and high strangeness phenomena. The narrative and scenarios are deeply rooted in the lore of UAP and high strangeness. I mean, think about how many games out there really stick to the lore and stick to the story. I can't think of any. High strangeness, offering an authentic experience. By staying true to the current knowledge, we can give the general population a chance to experience the UAP phenomenon. Players encounter situations and phenomena inspired by real-world accounts, bridging the gap between gaming and actual UAP research. the blend of survival and puzzle elements where players explore, discover, and solve mysteries. So basically what you're going to have is this incredible device here. It's called the quadricorder, and this quadricorder is your main tool for your guy. He's always wearing it. I wish I had this zoomed out a little bit. This is not what I want. And with the quadricorder, you go through the survival aspects of the game, and then at night, before the level completes, you have to stay indoors and do a FNAF Five Nights at Freddy's style FNAF puzzle game throughout the night to keep yourself from being, paralyzed and abducted. And then it starts over, much like Eternal Cylinder, which is another great kind of survival adventure game. I'm envisioning the level design to be like that, like in a rough sense. If you don't know what that means, well, let's talk. Let's hang out. I would love to have a discussion. Right. So this also is going to integrate with real world technology. Now, how so? It's going to have an app where you are able to, as you're making discoveries, as you're going through the survival part of the game, running through an Unreal and making your, you find indentations in the ground, you scan it with your quadricorder, you can see that there's indentations a few inches down, there's radioactivity, and you're recording these anomalies, and then things are going to happen, and adventurous stuff is going to happen. You might be abducted, and who knows what's going to happen. So in these moments, you could take snapshots with your in-game camera. There's going to be a camera as part of your character, just like any good researcher is going to have a good camera. And when you record anomalous events, when you do discover things, loot boxes, bonuses, the things that you're looking for through the survival game, excuse me, how professional, you then can mint those items. Now, this is good. We want to mint items. We want people getting it in their head that when they find or discover something, that they immediately want to get it on the blockchain. So as you can see here, players can mint NFTs of their in-game discoveries, mirroring the real-world functionality of the Anonolink app. So Anonolink is going to be our real-world version of the game, and I'll show you that in just a moment. These are just some renders I made in Unreal and also a couple of Midjourney ones here on the sides. I want there to be really strict adherence to real lore, the real actual stories that you hear. With permission, of course, or we can keep it a little bit vague, but definitely base these stories on real events, as many as possible. And, have fun with it, get weird with it. It'd be really cool. Like, think how deep the lore goes right now. Like, how many books and how much stuff is out there? What if we did a game with all of that in it? It doesn't have to be called Skinwalker Ranch, but there would be this ranch. We could do it clever. Well, here's our quadricorder. And so this is Anonolink. Now, this application in the game that you use for minting your experiences, minting these amazing camera shots you're getting, minting these, things. Well, imagine an app for your phone that uses the cameras, the microphones, and all of the other suites of tools on your screen, basically at once. You can filter through the different things. Use it like a tricorder from Star Trek and get data, and then immediately mint that data. Now, this is also a portal to the decentralized network where you can also just use it to store and share and disseminate scientific discoveries. So this is our portal. And what we can do is team up with DeSci or someone else. But as you can see, the app would have, beautiful graphics, and it would do, these are just placeholder images, actually. It would use GPS and satellite phone and, probably star maps, satellite maps, all kinds of things. EM fields, LiDAR, and I can envision clipping it into like basically phone extender would be like a bigger phone that it clicks into, and that phone has a suite of tools, and it is protected by a Faraday cage because you could have the suite of tools kind of hanging out on a cable, much like our quadricorder. You've got your sensor suite out on your hand, but you've got the CPU and all the processing and battery and all that stuff tucked away in a Faraday cage because, as we all know, EM bands are a problem for Web3 games in the NFT space. So I've seen it done. I've watched startups build these projects from the ground up. I've participated in building communities. I've participated and watched and helped hire and build pipelines and come up with schedules and concept art and, the works. And of course, mentoring and getting your hands dirty. These are all things that I'm very well familiar with in the Web3 space, which is exactly what we're talking about. Yeah, here's my my site. It's embedded in this presentation, which is pretty cool. Here's my art director process. Oh, wow. And it's within, yeah, that worked. So thank you so much for bearing with me.
Hi, Chris. I'm George.
Okay, so that was James. Sorry, the sound was again not so good there. Yeah, I liked it actually. What's your take, George? What did you think?
I think that's a great idea in terms of using a video game that focuses on UAP-related content, the ability to utilize well-known cases as part of the storyline for the game. One of the inherent opportunities for growth or limitations that I was reflecting on as I was watching James the Brain's submission, one of it would be, he talks about the integration of blockchain and NFTs, which is awesome. But here's the challenge. It may pose a challenge for players who are not necessarily familiar with these types of technologies, and it potentially could limit the game's accessibility in that regard. And another limitation that perhaps could be addressed with this idea is the quality and perhaps the authenticity of user-generated content, especially like real-world captures, you know, and they heavily depend on the community of the game. And as you know, in the field of ufology, it's rife with misinformation, low-quality submissions, and it could, in a way, potentially undermine the game's credibility.
Okay. What do you think, Allie?
I think what George said was an interesting point I hadn't considered before. I thought initially, I thought that the idea of, you know, creating a game with this whole scenario would be cool to catch on for the younger generations, right? Because we need not just us young/old fogies involved in this, you know what I mean? Like, we need the generations behind us to also get involved, and I feel like that could be a cool way to do that.
Yeah, I do like the game idea. What did you think, Leslie?
I don't know that I could wrap my brain all the way around it. I'm personally not a gamer, so but it sounded like to incorporate that into real life data collecting on UAPs. But so yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't fully understood.
I think it would take a lot to actually make it into a game, you know. But we have in the works UAP Society for the end. We have an NFT integrated game, which is chat based. So it uses AI to run like if you've ever played like Dungeons and Dragons, or where one person is telling you how the world actually is. There's other games that do it as well, like any sort of role playing game. It's a mental role playing game with words. So that's why I think the AI. The game works, actually. It does work.
Okay.
So we do just need to integrate it. You know, if James can really create a game and make it work, then I would love to talk to him after this and discuss it with him.
All right.
Because we have the basis, not how you defined it there, James, but we have a word-based game that uses NFTs. They have to actually have an NFT to play. And then it sets you in a scenario that kind of, the idea was to do exactly what you're talking about, to introduce people to a different world, you know, one where UAPs is the reality actually. So I do like it. So hopefully we can talk after, James, about the UAP Society game. All right,
Nice.
Let's get to the next one.
Okay, the next one is from YouTuber George Blahun, and this video is roughly 3 minutes and 30 seconds. So let me know when you're
Okay, short one.
Yep.
My avatar on Twitter is X is a NFT, and on the UAP Society Discord.
Righteous.
Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
Hi, Chris. I'm George. I'm a semi-retired 74-year-old living in southeastern Connecticut. I'm also a lifelong ham radio operator and amateur astronomer, and I'm proposing the following. Since most of us amateur astronomers set up anyhow and are out observing the sky primarily at night, though not exclusively, I think that we should use our equipment, and mine, by the way, is this fairly newly acquired Gemma Optics super doublet apochromatic refracting telescope. It's 130 millimeters in aperture, and it's as fine a piece of optics as you're likely to find in this aperture. What I'd like to see done is, for those of us who are open-minded enough to search for UAPs and actually try to record them, is that we look at additional devices. For instance, Teleview, which is a company in New York that is run by Al Nagler and his family, produces telescopes, eyepieces, and they now sell this $4,000 night vision device that can be affixed to an eyepiece on a telescope. Now, candidly, $4,000 currently is a little beyond my budget, but it's something I would like to acquire eventually. One of the other things that I started carrying is a spectrum analyzer. If an object is seen, I think it would be helpful to get an RF signature if one exists. This particular spectrum analyzer was only about $100 from China. It covers a few kilohertz up to about 3 gigahertz. Obviously, more expensive, slightly larger ones are available that cover the 6 to 8 or 10 gigahertz range, which I think would be beneficial. Whenever I'm out, I always carry, or it's near me, some type of ham radio. Now, this one is a handy-talkie that's used primarily for local communication, but there are nets on the HF frequency bands which give, in addition to local coverage, national and international coverage. And these nets could be used to exchange information about any sightings worldwide. So that, in a nutshell, is what I'm suggesting, that we utilize these communities which already exist and just focus their attention on UFOs and UAPs. Thanks very much for your consideration.
Could the truth about unidentified flying...
Okay. All right, that was a fast one. So I wrote down utilize ham radio networks. It also, an RF spectrum analyzer is $100, and then he was talking about, so that's interesting. And then the night vision add-on, it's $4,000. Is pricey.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a little expensive.
That's a
Can you
kind of steep.
record on that? But he said you can put it on the end of a telescope.
Mm-hmm.
But I like again, utilizing the cheapest way has got to be utilizing already sensor networks, you know, the people that we have, the cameras that we have. And so he mentioned ham radios. I haven't heard of that. I don't know how that would work. But interesting point. Excellent.
Yeah, I like the idea of having a spectrum analyzer. You know, it's been said that the 1.6 gigahertz is signal on Skinwalker Ranch is interesting.
Yeah, anytime you can get another sensor, but it's got to be tracking at that point, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how the ham radio operators will work. That's interesting. Can you detect something using that? That would be my question.
Yeah.
I don't know how that would happen. Okay. All right. Why don't we get to next one? Keep hitting it. If you guys need a break, you can just take a tea break. You need it.
Okay.
Let me know.
I did once already.
Sorry.
Okay, this bad boy is from YouTuber that goes by the name of Science, and the title is Unmasking UFOs, a Multi-Pronged Approach. And this is roughly 2 minutes and 40 seconds.
Not the short one. Here we go.
Let's hit play.
Could the truth about unidentified flying objects be lurking right under our noses, waiting for the right tools, the right methods to bring it into the light? In the quest to unveil the enigma of UFOs, 3 innovative methods stand out, each with the potential to shift our understanding of these mysterious phenomena. Method number 1, utilize cutting-edge technology to keep an eye on the sky. Imagine setting up infrared and standard cameras on private properties, particularly in regions known as UFO hotspots. These cameras, equipped with massive zoom and tracking capabilities, could capture first-hand evidence of any unexplained aerial activity. But who would monitor these cameras round the clock? It could be volunteers, experts, or even artificial intelligence systems designed to alert us at the first sign of something extraordinary. The second method might sound a bit like something out of a spy movie. Pay a whistleblower to reveal classified information. This would involve someone with access to so-called UFO vaults, willing to risk their career, and potentially their freedom, to bring forth unearthly evidence. A daring approach, certainly, but one that could yield invaluable information. Finally, the third method involves the creation of an international rapid response task force. This team, comprised of civilian scientists from diverse fields, would be ready to examine any new evidence that surfaces. They might scrutinize alien materials or investigate claims of extraterrestrial bodies, like those reportedly found in Peru. The findings of this task force would then be published as a research paper in a reputable journal, promoting transparency and scientific integrity. In summary, the quest for UFO evidence calls for a multi-pronged approach. First, leverage modern technology to monitor UFO hotspots. Second, incentivize insiders to reveal classified information. And third, establish a global team of scientists ready to investigate any new evidence. The potential impact of these methods is profound. We could collect provable evidence of the UFO phenomenon within a short time span and at minimal cost. More than that, we could finally answer one of the most tantalizing questions of our time. Are we truly alone in the universe? Or is there something more? Something extraordinary? waiting to be discovered. The answers are out there. It's time to uncover them.
Okay, so not super specific. I love the idea of paying whistleblowers.
I
Right? I've never
yeah,
thought of that.
I reacted to that too. I was like, dang, just put it out there like that. Okay.
Pay him. I don't know if that would.
I don't know if
do
that would-
anything. Yeah. Could you win the Ring doorbell contest if you just bring like your material in front of the Ring doorbell and be like, "Look, I found it.
That's a
$1
good
million.
question. I don't know.
I'm a whistleblower.
Got to read
Give
the
me $1
fine
million.
print.
Yeah, I wonder. So leveraging sensor nets that we already have. It seems like that's kind of a common theme.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And then using AI to sift through the data.
Yeah, there seems to be a collective
Mhm.
theme with this, but I like it though because it shows that people are thinking along the right tracks, right?
Yeah. It lays
Could
out
the
what,
truth-
what we need. All right. What do we got next?
What we have next, let's see. We have a 26-minute video by the YouTuber Ryan Wood.
Who's in the
Ryan
chat?
Wood.
Who's in the chat?
I think I've heard of that guy. All right.
What speed would you like me to play this this one here?
It's 25 minutes. Yeah, we got to play it faster. Sorry, Ryan.
No,
We're
he
behind.
actually said that if you want to play, that we can play.
Okay,
his
he said
video
play it
and-
faster.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Excellent.
Here we go, friends.
Okay.
Let's do it.
All right.
Oh, forgot to turn on the volume. Hang on one sec. Boom.
Greetings. My name is Ryan Wood. Thank you for checking out my video today. This is one of my first YouTube videos ever, so bear with me. It's not going to be very professional, but I did want to get this idea out there. This idea is part of the UAP Society's Project Idea Challenge. I'm getting hit on the deadline, which is today, but quick shout out, thank you to Chris Lehto of the Lehto Files. That's how I found out about this challenge. Great channel in the first place. He's got a lot of really cool content. He comes with a really cool perspective on things. So I would advise you to check that out if you get a chance. As well, I'd like to just give a quick shout out to Custodian File, another YouTube channel by Dr. Robert Shep. That's pretty much where I'm getting my idea from. Just to be very honest with you, this is not a method that I've practiced out loud yet. This is something that I kind of stewed in my brain. And then when the idea challenge came about, I said, well, let's go for it. Let's throw our idea out there. I think this is a time we should be open-minded to the subject and willing to brainstorm further. So let's get to it. Today, my purpose is to present in a concise manner a repeatable method of viewing and documenting UFOs or UAPs, whatever you want to call them. The main three sections we'll be getting at are the method, the budget, and the potential. I think that's kind of the three breakdowns of how to look at it. We're trying to make this a more concise video and not waste everybody's day. So first off, again, I'd like to give a shout out. This is to Custodian File, Dr. Robert Shep. I followed his channel for about a year or more now, and it's just been something that it is not definitive proof by any means, but I've been kind of waiting for the reason to stop following it, the reason that it would be BS and I can ignore it and just dismiss it forever. And I'll tell you, this guy makes about a video a week or something. Like, there's a lot of content coming out, very rapid fire, all original produced content and such. It's all very compelling. It's all super compelling. So if you maybe want to pause my video, go to his channel for a quick minute, just so you can see what I'm talking about. But he's in the Marina Del Rey area. He's recording objects through the sky that are normal to us: helicopters, balloons, kites, drones, things of that nature, and detecting, orbs, rods, whatever you want to call them. In his videos, he's going to refer to them as dragons. I'd say don't get hung up on that. He's really referring to the same phenomenon we're all kind of referring to. None of us have a clear understanding of what we're referring to. So, big generic phenomenon. Dragons is the word he's chosen because he originally thought in his photography that he was capturing dragonfly. So that's just kind of the word that's stuck. But unmanned probes, UFOs, UAPs, that's kind of what we suspect these things to be. I mean, if they have pilots, that's amazing because of the maneuvers that they are traveling, the G-forces, you probably heard by now, but those are the types of things that would just liquefy bodies inside. So unmanned is my assumption, but again, let's not get too far into the weeds on guessing what we're looking at. Let's get back to the project. The project is about capturing more evidence. So if we can capture more evidence and do that in a reliable manner, a repeatable manner, that is how we're going to have tests. That's a scientific method beginning. Is how can we make these things show up? Is it fully random? What's the probability of them showing up if I throw a red balloon in the sky? So we'll get to that towards the end as well. Let's see. So I'm gonna start off with kind of what's required. What is this? I kind of explain what he's doing in a sense. You can watch it if you go to his channel, but I did ask him specifically. I had an assumption what he was working with. I emailed him. He was very quick to respond, very upfront. Again, kind of my bullshit meter with him has been at a zero this whole time, and that is not testament that he is telling the truth or that it is proof of the evidence of the phenomenon. But it's really good standing to not have bullshit meter bumping up and down on a problem or a project of this nature. So I do put some validity behind what he tells me because he's not really making a profit off of this. He didn't say, yeah, sure, I'll tell you what I'm working with, buy my book, or pay my $10 a month subscription, or buy my UFO camera device that's $3,000. None of that came up in this conversation. In fact, he was giving me just everything forthcoming, like, hey, dude, if you want to do this yourself, go for it. And that's kind of the open line of communication and transparency. Again, bullshit meters at a zero for this so far. So I love that. That's all kind of putting more validity. This is worth our time. This is worth our attention. We should be talking about it. So let's get to it.
I think the budget, the equipment, what we're working with. So he's giving me this. First off, the setup, the equipment, 4K camera, 60 frames per second, a digital camera. I'm gonna need a tripod. I'm gonna need 2 car radar detectors. That's kind of an interesting thing, but let's go for it. You know what I mean? Again, the cost trade-off. What makes a lot of this make so much sense because the stuff is not an arm and a leg to produce and make. That maybe there's a millionaire out there that just wants to throw some pocket change, a fun little project or something. But again, let's get back into it here. The 2 car radar detectors. I'd like those to be set. One to the K band, one to the X band. I want a stopwatch that's synchronized to the time setting of the digital camera. I just want those 2 things to line up really well. By the millisecond preferred is perfect. The cost you can see right across the board on each of these. We do the camera new. We're looking at 1,000 to 2,400. The tripod about 40 to 200. The radar detectors each about 80 to 300. I'm basing that off if we go used is on the cheap side, new is on the expensive side. So give us a ballpark range of what we could look for a budget involved. $20 for the stopwatch, pretty basic stuff. Each station now comes to the total of $1,220 to $3,200 to $20. Again, rough estimates, but my goodness, we're underneath $3,300. I mean, I don't have $3,300 to just throw at this and make my own YouTube channel, unfortunately. But someone out there might just be like, let's do it. I got a boring week coming up. Let's buy some quick stuff. Make some. Look at all the YouTube creators out there. Any YouTube content creators, not even UFO adjacent. You just want to make a fun day project, make a nice little time lapse and stuff. Like, steal this idea. That's the whole point of my project. Is like, let this be just an idea. And if anyone wants to carry it forward and make more with it, all the more better. I love that. Minimal. We're talking minimal. So the expected total on each station, 130, 300. We can multiply that out, right? We can make more than one station if we wanted to. There's benefit and purpose if we are to pursue that route. I'll get into that next, basically. All right, on to our next. The benefit of multiple station observers. So this is the key. This is the biggest part of why my idea now breaks apart from Dr. Robert Shep, the custodian file. I'm taking his idea and building with the next layer on top. And this is something I got from, I don't know the name of who they are, but this is like the NASA of Ukraine. But in previous years, they were getting detections, detections. And they did really cool detections because they were thinking of this in a better version. Basically, if we have one perspective point, and I see something and I produce it and I give it back to you in a nice video screen, right? And you can see a helicopter moving across the screen. You see a dragon come zipping down, UAP, whatever you want to call it, or a rod, whatever. Your first assumption should be really, stay grounded in reason that either I'm misguiding you and being deceptive on purpose. That's always a possibility. Maybe I'm being fooled. Maybe I'm just a fool and I believe I'm giving you truth, but it's really still not true. Bugs, right? Bugs. That's like the easiest thing we can say is like, oh, you're filming bugs. You're filming bugs. That's been the common thing. I mean, Rod's song Ripley's Believe It or Not back in 2000 or something, and it all kind of, long 20-minute story short. Oh, they're just filming bugs, and the capture frames of the camera speed, the shutter speed makes it elongated. So a bug normally should be a fly, but now it looks like a rod, which, oh, okay, now it's all coming back. If you take 2 perspective points now, and basically, I don't know what the proper terms are for this. We're triangulating, I believe. We're using depth perception is like what I think of when we have 2 eyes to get a better idea of distances, right? So that's the same thing that I'm coming up with is let's do 2 stations. Let's go one over there, one over there. Now, if they both see in their screen, in the final finale of this, an orb flying through, and he's way over there, and he's way over there, there's a math problem involved that I don't really understand. I can't explain to you to tell you how that works, but somebody smarter will know. You can actually figure out what the minimum distances, ranges. You can range this stuff out. You can figure out the only way for someone over there, X distance away, I don't know, are we talking 50 feet, 100 feet, a mile? I'm pretty sure this is a math problem where the greater distance between the 2 perspectives, we're going to get a better, more accurate triangulation of what they're observing. It's going to eliminate the false positives. That's what I'm getting at. If I saw it in my camera over there, and you saw it in your camera over there, we both see a little zippity do, there's really not going to be a great discussion to say that was a bug. How was the bug in front of his camera? How was the bug in front of his camera? That's the whole secret to this, is that I think if we got a minimum investment of about a few $1,000s for one station, double that baby up. Let's go 2 stations. Let's go 3, 4, 5. I'm pretty sure that's how this all works, is the more perspective points witnessing a similar common phenomenon will eliminate all the possibility that the object that we have in question is closer to the viewer than we are trying to say it is. Because right now, we're basically trying to say that in Dr. Robert Shep's videos, he is witnessing a drone, a UAP, a UFO, a phenomenon. These look like machines flying around our machines or our objects. So let's get on to the next part. Skip the method. Now we got the method, the potential. I completely skipped the method. Okay, so the method, how do we do this, right? We're going to use a 4K 60 frame per second digital camera, a tripod, 2 car radar detectors, 1 set to K-band, 1 set to X-band. That is coming straight from my source of inspiration, Dr. Robert Shep on the custodian file. He gives me the information that about 8% of the time, seems low, but that could be significant. Numbers range in significance, but 8% of the time he'll get a hit when he's tracking an object in his camera. He's looking at the helicopter, whatever is in the sky, and he gets a little zip through. About 8% of the time, that extra object passing the main object that we're observing will trigger a radar detection. So this is great because what I've been told is we cannot see these things with our bare eyes, that we actually need a machine or we need a camera's magic to slow down the time lapse so we can see it slower speed. But here's the key. So if you're filming the helicopter going by in the sky, you may have captured a phenomenon and not know about it because you would need to stop on the exact frames throughout that thing. And these things move incredibly fast. So using the car radar detectors as kind of a guide. I'm not saying that would be the only way to get these things detected, but if we get a chirp off the radar detectors as we're following the object in the sky, boom, we hit the stopwatch. The stopwatch is synchronized to the time setting of our digital camera because we're going to want to mark all of the blips along the way. If I hear beep, 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 I want to hit boom, and I want to hit boom and boom on each of those. And then when we're all back at the end of the day and we're looking through the footage on our computers or whatever the source would be, we can then go to those timestamps in the video where we hit the detection and we hit the stopwatch as close as we could, and we're going to rewatch those few seconds in lots and lots of detail. We're going to slow that, stretch it out so the thing's barely moving at all, and that seems to be the magic trick to detecting what you can't see with the naked eye. Continuing with it, on the method. So our targets, planefinder.net, free service, very easy to use, but it will show you the air traffic in your area coming through. Good way to look out for helicopters, things that are slow moving and easy to detect in that nature. Let's see, targets. I want to see helicopters, drones, gliders, planes, balloons, kites. Slower moving, big objects, easy to track. I would believe airplanes, anything in the sky over a certain size or producing a certain signature. I'm not exactly sure what I'm saying there, but I believe planes would get this as well, but planes are going to be harder to follow and track with your tripod mounted system. Your tripod mounted system is going to be a lot easier to maneuver and track on a helicopter that's moving at a much slower pace through the sky. Drones, gliders, anything that's kind of big. I'd love to see balloons and kites. Let's see things without electronics involved. Let's see unpiloted. Let's see piloted. I'll get towards the end where we should really have like a lot to consider where the potential of this could go. The action. So again, the observer is going to visually locate the target in the sky, activate both the radar detectors, track and record the target. Landscape format, half zoomed is the sweet spot. Your object should only be about this much of the frame, about as much as my head is taking up on this screen or so, about that. And you want all this to just be open sky background, because these things do get really close to the helicopters and objects, it seems, but not all the time. Sometimes about a 30-foot or 20-foot pass. So a little zoomed out, just enough to get a little bit bigger scope of what we're looking at is going to be probably the preferred method on this. Use a stopwatch, record any radar detections, play back, record video at a slower speed. We already went over that. Awesome. All right, here's where I see this going. Here's the potential of this. Are there preferred targets? Large versus small. Let's scale these things. If we've got 3 cubic feet, 10 cubic feet, whatever, but like we could really start to categorize certain things. Maybe if you send one little balloon up in the sky, nothing hits it, no one cares. Maybe if you send 2 balloons, someone does care. Maybe the balloon has to be filled with a certain chemical or have heat signature. Again, back to my source, Dr. Robert Shep, his assumption was he was really thinking that the electronics on board were what were being detected or seen to trigger the objects coming through. So what I mean by that, his story to me, just quick anecdotal, is that working with another UFO guy that he is dealing with as well through the emails, helping that guy set up a project just like me. That guy put a drone up with a camera attached, and it's a brand new drone, and they got a hit off of it. They did see an orb, and the battery of the drone was drained like way premature. They were supposed to have several hours of flight, and it went down within an hour. And that's like, why did the battery drain just being up in the sky during normal operation? So his assumption from that was that these things probably run off of electricity. I've heard more than one assumption that that's how they're doing it. Very high voltages is how they can overcome gravity or something. Again, man, I'm not going to pretend to know what that means. But maybe they need fuel, and maybe their source of fuel is us, what we have available. So power stations, our vehicles. How do you sap electricity from a battery through the air off of a drone within a millisecond or two? Again, I will not pretend to know, but I think open-mindedness is the way we need to go with all this stuff. Let's test out large versus small, visual signature in regards to colors, camouflage, or infrared. If I throw a white balloon up, if I throw a red balloon up, if I throw a white drone up, if I throw a blue drone up, whatever. Let's see if certain colors on the visual spectrum, certain heat signatures to send one up that's subcooled, lower than air temperature, at air temperature, higher than air temperature. Let's see if some of these things, like maybe we could predict what the drones or what the objects, the phenomenon is looking for by testing out different types of subjects and seeing if we get better hits on one versus the other. If we got better hits on one versus the other, we could even start to infer, so the phenomenon that is for sure, we got it telescoped out or triangulated out, and it's up in the sky. We know it's not down here with bugs. It's got to be something up there that we don't understand. We could also jump to start inferring what is their intent. If they only looked at objects that were watermelon shaped and sparkly iridescent and had no electronics on board, like why? We could start to jump to the next and start to actually know a little bit about who the creators, the operators, the designers of these phenomenon. What do they want? What's their intention? That's the kind of the next big question we want to get to, is not just are they here, but okay, if they are here, what do they want with us? That's where this all leads. Lastly, I definitely see ways that, like, my system that I'm even prescribing now has lots of room for potential. I'm not a programmer. I don't know how to do that stuff. I'm very not computer literate in that regard. But automated tracking and capture, 24/7, 365 monitoring and capture. My method right now requires at least one observer, preferably 2 or more. Those are human bodies. We all kind of have day jobs. We don't have infinite time. Most people want to get paid for their time. So I would take volunteers or a budget to supply labor. Unless we did what everything in the future is doing, we replace it with AI, robots, whatever. We could actually have a detection system up in the sky, always looking. And I know we can make them automated to track on their own. Why not link it up to Plane Finder and have it like, helicopter's coming in from the north. Let's look at the north. There's the object. We track it. We got our radar detectors going. If the radar detectors chirp, boom, we make a hit. Boom, we make a hit. We mark all those on the timestamp. But this can be automated. If it's automated, my God, it explodes. You can do it every country, every airport, every city. We can start to really put investment into this and not. I like things with huge upside, very little downside, very little investment required. That is what this is. I'm talking about a few $1,000s and maybe unlocking the secrets of the universe as far as, are we alone or not? These are some of the biggest questions that have we've tackled these since like humanity's had reason. So I think this, although I will not place confidence in my project that I know it works. I'm not trying to say that to you. I'm saying I followed a pattern that seems very repeatable for very low investment and huge benefit, huge payoff. And I encourage you all to take me up on my game on that. Let's see if maybe we can actually put this thing together. Would that be cool? I mean, I'm just excited if anybody watched this video and was inspired, or it percolated your own brain to think of your own ideas. That's where we need to be going with this stuff. This needs to be in an open format. Open forum. We need to be able to converse and share ideas and be transparent. That's how we will get to the better future for everybody involved. And that is a system or a plan that's been proven throughout time. Whenever we work together as a civilization instead of against each other or holding our secrets from each other, it's amazing what we can accomplish and where our science and technology takes us. Thank you so much for your time today, and have a great day.
Okay, excellent. Well, thank you, Ryan. That's so awesome. We definitely watched your video, and there were some ideas in there that we haven't heard before. Certainly the car radar.
Yeah, that's the first.
And this is interesting because, right, we've been talking about using sensor nets, right, to get more data, cheap sensor nets that are already there. But all we really need is one high definition case. You know, that's the other argument is, what about using like UAP Society members that are motivated and sending them equipment in certain areas? You know, like 3 people live in Jacksonville, say, or, you know, Tampa or Houston or something. And they volunteer basically to run all these systems. You know, is it worth us as a community sending them those resources? You know, I have a video I'll record in the morning, hopefully, by Courtney Brown. He basically he said that he argues using a GH6 Lumix camera on a 120 frame per second, you know, 4K, he's able to capture these things. But I looked up how much one of those costs. It's like $3,600.
Yeah, we looked it up too.
Okay, yeah. So I'll have a video I'm going to make, I think, for Friday. I'm going to talk to him on, or maybe tomorrow. I'm going to talk to him on Thursday. So maybe that's worth it, is finding one technique that works, and then putting all our money into, you know, 3 baskets essentially, and then equipping members, you know, kind of like Sky 360, but it would be just, you know, 3 people upgrading them, or choosing like Hestalen and putting a site there. We just don't have a person there that can do it, you know. But I know like Tom King, he has in Phoenix, he has tons of cameras searching 4K above his house all the time. You know, if we have one member that lives in Phoenix besides Tom King, then maybe we outfit them. And now Ryan's idea here is effectively made, where we have Tom King and we use his already assets there, and then we build a second camera system somewhere in Phoenix, you know, and that would get the high def. But yeah, guys, I thought we could go the whole time, but my brain actually is not working very well. I had a hard time, so I think we should go to part 2. Because we have 7 left, right?
No.
How many do we have left?
4.
4 left.
Okay. All right. Well, we can do that then. Keep firing.
Now, according to this list, I've played everything on this list that was made. Allie sent me 2 other YouTube's entries that weren't included on this list. Are we missing 2 more, guys?
So I have Wolf with No Name. There's I have Sky 360. We didn't do that one yet.
Yeah, we didn't do Sky 360.
Then there's Sean, and then there's Fritz P.
Okay, and are these in the playlist that are sent?
2 of them are, 2 of them are not.
Okay, so I will play the ones that are not included in the playlist, the 2, and then we'll go ahead and backtrack for the ones that are on the list that we missed. Okay.
All right.
This next entry is from YouTuber Sean. Title is UAP Sci, the only way to do it. Yep. This video is roughly 11 minutes. I'll go ahead and set it at, what do you guys think? 1.2, 1.5?
I think we can go 1.5. That's probably the fastest you can take it.
Yeah.
2 is a little bit fast.
If you do.
All right. Okay, we're ready to play?
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it.
I recognize this guy.
Hey, Chris, love your show, mate. I'm a big fan. So my idea for your competition is simple and could possibly be the only submission that would not only get the best evidence, but could lead to some form of disclosure. So this way we'd get the highest quality visual footage possible, but it would also be a fair undertaking. So, I guess if we're serious about this, it's not the best way to do it. It's the only way, in my opinion. So obviously, as you know, it seems as if disclosure is just around the corner, but it could still be made to go away. So like just this week, there's that huge push to block the Schumer amendment. So what I'm proposing is the best way to get good quality evidence, but my idea serves a broader purpose as well. And I think that's important because let's say the president gets up in a year or two and makes an announcement to the public that there's been a visit from an NHI. I think it'd be incredibly naive to think that we're going to get all the information. The US government would never tell the people everything because that would make them complicit in the biggest cover-up in history, right? So I think they'll likely bury huge amounts of evidence. We'll never get all of it. So they'll be controlling the narrative, so to speak. I think we need to implement this now to make sure we get that stuff. So you requested the best way to gather evidence on the phenomena, right? Let me ask you this. What if I gave you $1 billion to go out and gather data on UAP, or 5 billion, or even 10 billion? So the results from that would be kind of cool, but minuscule compared to everything the US Navy has acquired over decades. The Navy, as you know, are above and below the sea, in the sky, got satellites in orbit, etc. So we're talking trillions of dollars of equipment that civilians can't even access. Thousands of people tasked with monitoring these areas for unknowns all day, every day. The Navy's been gone for 248 years, 1 month and 5 days as of the making of this video. Obviously they didn't have the tech to record things for most of that time, but they got heaps. So not only do they have the capabilities that civilian researchers can't even access, but UAP are actually monitoring the military assets and arsenals. Some of the most interesting things have happened around ships, right? They got all the equipment and they got all the bait for bringing in the UAP. So all the best data, in my opinion, has already been collected. Wouldn't you agree? Instead of trying to go out and get our own, I think efforts are better spent trying to get what's already been captured over such a long period of time with way better equipment. So here's how we get it. John Greenwald Jr. has recently been through an exhaustive Foya battle with the US Navy. So it actually got world media attention when he started this. So there's already been some headlines about it. He didn't just request a particular case or a roll of film. He asked for all UFO UAP footage in its entirety, citing they could remove sensitive information from the clips and just release whatever they can. So he made a really good case. He used the gimbal and the go fast footage as reasons why more videos should be released. And he went through this long appeal process and everything. As of this time last year, that appeal was denied. So the Navy said they had denied 100% of UFO UAP footage to him, 100%, citing national security for all, I believe. So the next step for that Foya case is a judicial hearing, and John would need to go to court to win. I actually believe that he could win. No judge could agree that 100% of footage would be classified and stay that way. It doesn't make any sense. I also think he believes he can win that case because he's considering fighting it, right? So I made a short clip of John breaking down the case. I've kind of compressed it. It's very short, about 2 minutes, maybe less. So yeah, just give that a look and then we'll move on.
And today we're talking about a brand new story that has received an avalanche of media coverage. About 2.5 years ago, I went after all other UFO and UAP related videos only, that the US Navy held in their holdings. And essentially what I was requesting was every video that holds a designation of unidentified aerial phenomena. What I did was I filed it the day after the Navy released the 3 videos that we've all seen a million times now in the last 4.5, 5 years, the FLIR, the gimbal, and Go Fast. So when I filed the case, I had said, you guys are now releasing these videos, so there's got to be more. And that had started what I didn't know at the time, would ultimately be roughly a 2.5-year journey that resulted in me having to file numerous Foya cases. It wasn't just one. And finally, in the end, the Navy said, nope, sorry, we are not releasing any of them. With reasons stated through my appeal here, I believe it shows that there are no reasons to keep the videos classified once sensitive information is stripped, blurred, or redacted. Now, through Foya, your next step, if you're denied something, is you appeal. The third step is a judicial review. You go before a judge. As of today, about an hour ago, the appeal was denied. After going through all of that extensive detail about how I felt that videos could be released either in full or in part, namely because the other 3 FLIR, gimbal, and Go Fast UAP videos were released, I tried to put up an argument through legal means to get those videos released. I tried to get that decision reversed. They refused. Now, I mentioned that I would talk about the judicial review. I don't have an answer on what I'm going to do here. There's a lot of money involved in taking a government agency to court. There's a lot of time involved. Is there a possibility? Absolutely. Is it worth the financial gamble? I'm not sure. I really have no idea.
So the biggest issue here for this to go ahead is money, right? I'm proposing that we raise the funds using the hundreds of millions of believers and skeptics alike. So the reach of all the channels, you got the UFO, UAP channels, you got the open-minded science channels and the skeptics channels. It's just massive. So like we've seen in the hearings, both sides of the aisle want answers. Just look at the reach, from John Greenwald and Ross, Jeremy George, Eric Weinstein, Chris Como, Dave Grush, Joe Rogan, Ryan Graves, Timbo Shed.
Just release the files.
You got Theories of Everything channel. I think all of those people, Mick West, even Neil deGrasse Tyson, man.
I just haven't seen evidence for it.
I think all of those people would be more than happy to make a 2-minute video promoting a GoFundMe, or just putting up an X post describing the GoFundMe, right, to take the US Navy to court to get these videos. And so the fundraising is not the most important part. I think the reason this would be so powerful is because anyone can get involved without being a UFO guy, a nutty person. Anyone can promote the idea to get more transparency and get the films to be analyzed. Even the skeptics want those films, right? And I think all the news would cover it. They already covered this exact Foya case previously. A lot of like worldwide articles went around about it, right? So now you've got Ross consulting with News Nation as a correspondent, actually. That could be a way through as well. Also, if enough funds are reached, John could hire a hotshot lawyer team, maybe like Charles McCullough, that's the former Inspector General of the intelligence community, and David Grush's lawyer. So he obviously stands by David Grush's claims, and he would understand classifications really well, would probably be the best person for it. There would be some logistics with where funds are stored and things like that. It might have to be like a cutoff once an estimate has been made for the costs involved, things like that. Maybe the money pool could be held with an organization like MUFON or the David Grush and Gary Nolan Soul Foundation or something like that, or with John himself, just for publicity, basically. And obviously John would have to agree to do it, but he seemed very close to taking on the case already, and he's got good ties with the media. I think he was actually going to considering doing it with his own money, so I think it's a no-brainer for John. Additionally, you could ask for donations from MUFON and Soul, Americans for Safe Aerospace, etc. So this would all be good publicity for those organizations. It gives them good incentive to be involved. Obviously, your channel would explode as well. The Tamron Hall show just featured Ryan Graves and a bunch of others, Lincoln Ty as well. It's super mainstream compared to the past. So I think all those areas are places to maximize reach and build interest on the case. I got no doubt that if everyone got on board, it would go ahead, right? It would be a mainstream event. So yeah, that's it. I hope you like my idea, Chris. I know you'll have a lot of these. I'd be stoked if you're interested, and I heard back. If something like this was to get up off the ground, I could donate about 15 hours of my time a week to the process indefinitely. And I've also attached 2 links of John Greenwald Jr. breaking down the cases that I edited for you if you want to watch them a bit closer and see exactly what's involved. I think he's got a good shot. And yeah, if everyone gets in, it could actually happen. Like I said earlier, if this thing isn't done, even best case scenario, there's an admission in a couple of years, I think there's going to be a lot of historical information just destroyed and gone forever. So I think it's more important than ever probably to do it now. Cool. Keep up the good work, mate. Bye from Australia.
Yeah, excellent. Have you guys thought of that before? We can just pay John Greenwald.
No,
I love this idea. I've seen this video. I've seen it before. But basically, so John Greenwald said he's run up against a brick wall, and so all we need to improve the Foya is to sue the government. But basically, it costs a lot of money, he says, to sue the government. The question is, if we get enough, do we have any lawyers in the UAP Society? Like, can we go pro bono?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. If you're a lawyer in UAP Society, like send us a message. Let us know. We may need you.
Yeah.
For free, by the way.
Okay.
It would be awesome if we could get Danny Sheehan.
Yeah, right.
We should probably ask John first. Yeah, the other question, Danny Sheehan, right? Isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I thought it was interesting to pay whistleblowers, but now we're also paying for this kind of idea too.
Yeah, to fight the government.
People have good ideas.
Lawyers.
I'm liking this creativity here.
Yeah, we should probably ask John Greenwald if he's willing to do it. If we pay him,
send him a message.
Right.
I'll ask him. Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I'll send him during the next video here.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, I'd never heard of that. I thought it was a great idea. I'll ask John Greenwald and see if he's up for it at least.
All right. Stay tuned for that answer.
All right, good.
All right.
We got the
Next video is from YouTuber Fritz P. The title is The Kiev Way. This video is 4 minutes, yeah?
Okay.
Okay. And here we go.
Hello, Chris. Apologies for this video. Time caught up with me. I'm Fritz from South Africa. And I just thought an idea. I place a lot of value on the Ukrainian astronomers. You've dealt with it in your in videos in the past. As far as I believe, they brought out different papers, scientific papers. Yes, it were criticized by people like Avi Loeb, but the criticism is basically based on it's not possible for them to fly so fast or whatever, so it's not possible. So I don't place much value in the criticism or in that specific criticism. why I think we must place more value on the Ukrainian methods. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. They had success. They describe exactly what cameras they use, how far they place them from each other. I say cameras, but whatever the equipment they have, I think it's 126 kilometers. We can learn a lot from that. We can learn, do they talk bullshit? Is it true? So we can even prove that. But I place a lot of value on that. I mean, they stated if you look at the skies as they did it, they're everywhere. That's what they said. They're basically everywhere. So my suggestion is to maybe put their cameras on a place where maybe there's known UFO activity. But before that, maybe also a baseline where there's no UFO activity, just a random place to create a baseline with these cameras. Maybe then put them at a places where there is reported activities of these UFOs, see if there's any difference. Maybe in the United States, wherever. And then maybe a third option, also to do the 3 options. The third option is maybe to get some CE5 protocol people on board with this, try to summons the UAPs and see if there's a difference using that technique. I think one can reach out to the Ukrainians. That something tells me they're onto something. Why should we reinvent the wheel if they've got success on that? Apparently, it's also not that expensive equipment. Maybe just to prove from outside. Imagine we can also see what they see independently, looking at the skies, and you see these. I think they talk about phantom UAPs. We can't see them, but you use the background. You see that there is something, although you can't specifically see it, but maybe with the background with the stars, you can see that there's something. And also just the plain UFOs they see. I think those guys know. I know it's a war zone, but in Ukraine. But I think those guys know what is missiles and what is not. Yeah. Okay. I think that's just a basic suggestion. I've got maybe somebody else already made the suggestion, but I think we must give more credibility to their research and to maybe copy them. I'm sure they will be able to assist with eyes to even validate their claims. I think from that perspective, they will be willing to assist. So yes, that's basically it. I don't have a PowerPoint presentation, just a normal video. It's now the 30th in South Africa. It's already evening. So yes, that's my 2 cents. Yeah. I'll see what you think, what the viewers think. Thanks, man. Cheers. Hello.
Okay. Yeah, the Ukrainian astronomers. That was one of my most popular videos, actually. And I was working with Boris a few months after that. We were working with this guy, David, in California, and he had an idea, and he had this camera, the S23, and it can do 120 frames per second. And so he had set up, and that's where we had left off, is he couldn't reproduce how they were capturing multiple UAPs. He was able to capture the fast UAPs with 1 camera, but then when I asked him to try and get 2 cameras actually offset, he wasn't able to actually detect the same UAPs. So that's where kind of Ryan's idea, where this guy used 2 cameras. It was high frame per second cameras or phone cameras, and that was the last thing working with Boris. And so it'd be great to get more information on that. And you'll see the video later on when I talk about the Lumix, the G6. So maybe we could use that to try and reproduce this, because they're happening so fast. The point is they go so fast that you really need a high quality sensor and in the infrared.
Right.
So quite interesting.
At least 120 frames a second.
Minimum.
And those cameras need to be modified to take off the UV filter with specific settings thereafter.
Yep. Okay, so I don't know what happened if we have the Sky 360, whatever video I have up next. The Sky 360 I found the video that they put in, and they don't have hashtag UAPCDSci in the title, but they did. So I don't know what happened to that, but whatever you have ready, George. Did you have that link?
Yeah, there should be 2 videos left.
Okay. Okay, so this is the other one.
Which one is this one, George? Yeah, okay, that's right.
Hello, and welcome to my video / research idea. I'll get right into it. To put it simply, I'm thinking we should take ChatGPT-4 or Google's Bard to create a unique AI model, one that is specifically designed to correlate case facts between thousands of sighting accounts, images, and videos. It will then apply them to newly described cases to point out details, similarities, and information of note for the user. My idea is extremely similar to a highly effective system the FBI uses to identify serial killers and murderers based on case details when actual evidence is slim. Once created, the model could be used to identify new patterns of UAP activity, to develop new hypotheses about the nature of UAPs, or to generate new leads for UAP investigations. A good example of this and way users could test my idea would be asking an existing AI model about commonly reported details of abductions and then asking it to apply those details to, say, the DLAP's Pass incident from '59. In addition to helping uncover new information about UAPs, this model would serve as a helpful, unbiased resource of information for those looking to educate themselves on the topic of UAPs and EBEs. Step 1. Data preparation. The NUFO-RC archives contain a vast amount of data on UFO sightings, including case reports, eyewitness accounts, and other relevant information. Plenty of data that could be applied to relevant and past cases, though it goes largely underutilized due to its vastness, as there are over 120,000 reports on their archives alone. This data is in a variety of formats, mainly text, but some including images and videos. I have personally poured through the NUFO-RC archives extensively on multiple occasions, and I can assure you it is a painstaking process. To prepare the data for training the AI model, it would need to be converted into a consistent format. This would include extracting text from images and videos using optical character recognition and speech-to-text transcription, cleaning the text to remove any errors or inconsistencies, such as removing sightings later identified as Starlink, normalizing the text by converting all text to lowercase and removing punctuation, labeling each case report with relevant information such as the date and location of the sighting, the type of object seen, the behavior of the object, if this information is available within the report, of course. Step 2. Model training. Once the data is prepared, it can be used to train the AI model. The training process would involve feeding the case reports to the AI model and allowing it to learn the patterns in the data. One way to train the AI model would be to use a natural language processing, or NLP, technique called word embedding. Word embedding is a technique for representing words as vectors of numbers. These vectors can be used to capture the semantic and synaptic relationships between words. To train the AI model using word embedding, the case reports would first be converted into word sequences. The AI model would then learn to represent each word in the sequence as a vector of numbers. Once the AI model has learned to represent words as vectors, it can be used to correlate case facts from thousands of sighting reports and recently described cases. For example, the AI model could be used to find cases where the eyewitnesses described a triangular object or where the sighting occurred near a military base. Another way to train the AI model would be to use a machine learning technique called graph neural networks, or GNNs. GNNs are a type of neural network that can be used to learn on graph-structured data. To train AI models using GNNs, the case reports would first be converted into a graph structure. The nodes in the graph would represent the individual case reports, and the edges in the graph would represent the relationships between the case reports. The AI model would then learn to represent each node in the graph as a vector of numbers. The AI model would also learn to represent each edge in the graph as a vector of numbers. Once the AI model has learned to represent nodes and edges as vectors, it can be used to correlate case facts from thousands of sighting reports and recently described cases. For example, the AI model could be used to find all cases that are connected to a particular case, or cases that are similar to a recently described case. Lastly, both of these techniques are well suited for this task, meaning we may want to consider using a combination of these two techniques. For example, we could use word embedding to represent the individual case reports, and then use GNNs to learn the relationships between the case reports. Step 3. Learning and growing. An important detail we would want to check is making sure the model learns new cases when asking for case detail correlation. One way is using a technique called reinforcement learning. Reinforcement learning is a machine learning technique where a model is given rewards for taking actions that lead to desired outcomes. In this case, we would reward the model for correctly identifying patterns and connections between new cases and existing cases. This would incentivize the model to learn from new data and apply that knowledge to future cases. Some specific examples of rewards that we could give our AI model for correctly identifying patterns and connections between new cases is as follows. A positive score for each correct identification. A positive score for identifying more complex patterns and connections. A bonus score for identifying patterns and connections that are not explicitly defined in the training data. And a bonus score for identifying patterns and connections that lead to new insights or discoveries about UAPs. We could also use negative reward to discourage the AI model from making incorrect identifications. For example, we could give our AI model a negative score for each incorrect identification, or we could give it a lower score for identifying less complex patterns and connections. Another way is transfer learning. Transfer learning is a machine learning technique where a pre-trained model is used as the starting point for a new model. This allows our new model to learn from the pre-trained model's knowledge without having to start from scratch. In this case, we could use a pre-trained model, such as Bard or GPT-4, as a starting point for our AI model. This would give the model a good understanding of human language and the ability to learn from new case data quickly. Finally, we can also use a technique called continuous learning to keep our AI model up to date. Continuous learning is a machine learning technique where a model is constantly learning from new data. In this case, you could feed our AI model new cases as they become available. This would allow the model to learn from new data and improve its performance over time. Step 4, model deployment. Once the AI model is trained, it can be deployed to a production environment. This would involve making the model available to users through a web interface or other API or maybe a code library. Users could then submit prompts to the model, and it would then return a list of correlated case facts. For example, a user might submit the following prompt to the model. Quote, find all UFO sightings that occurred in the United States in 2023 and that involved a triangular object, end quote. The model would then search through the NUFO-RC archives and return a list of all cases that match the prompt. The user could then review the list of cases and learn more about each sighting. The model would also be able to search for and then apply relevant UAP facts from accounts to cases not commonly attributed to UAPs, like, for example, chupacabra killings or missing 411s. Some benefits of using an AI model to correlate case facts from UFO sighting reports include AI models can process large amounts of data leagues faster than humans. AI models can identify patterns in data that humans might miss. AI models can be used to identify correlations between cases that would be difficult or impossible for humans to find, harking back to the 120,000 reports. AI models can also be used to generate new hypotheses about UFO sightings and cases. But some potential challenges might be ensuring that the AI model is trained on high-quality data, with it being able to properly distinguish between misreported sightings, such as Starlink, and legitimate UAPs worth investigating. Another challenge is ensuring that the AI model is not biased towards certain types of cases or data points, leading to skewed responses. Finally, it is important to be transparent about the limitations of the AI model and to make it clear that it is not a replacement for human judgment when it comes to UAP research. In conclusion, the development of an AI model to correlate case facts between thousands of sighting reports, images, and videos is a groundbreaking idea with the potential to revolutionize the field of UAP research. Such a model would be able to identify patterns and connections that would be impossible for humans to find on their own, leading to new insights and discoveries about the nature of UAPs. Let's share this video with others so that we can raise some awareness, get the ball rolling. Together, we can make this AI model a reality and accelerate the pace of UAP research.
Okay, wow. I would love that to be a reality.
So
Training
would
an
I.
AI model. I have that a lot. I use ChatGPT for research or just helping in general, and it just always puts out a disclaimer like, well, that's not possible, because it's only trained on, its neural network of ChatGPT-4 is only trained on our current science, which says it's not possible. So it'll just, ChatGPT thinks UAPs are not possible because the mainstream world thinks that UAPs are not possible. But if we trained our own model that looked at it from the other point and said, well, hey, what if it is possible?
That's
Then
interesting.
you'd have another AI. And even if it wasn't trained on really good data right away, you could just keep adding data to it, like get the MUFON database and try and plug that in.
What do you
I
think
think
of that whole
super powerful.
point system? Do you think that point system with like rewarding it or disciplining it, so to speak, would add credibility as well?
I think that's just ways to train the neural network, right? That's what he's talking about.
Okay.
I don't know much about GNNs. I hadn't really heard of those graph neural networks.
Yeah, that's a new one for me too.
But it would be amazing. And that's come up a few times actually in the contest, is basically using data that's already out there and using all the new techniques. I mean, AI is so powerful.
Yeah.
Train our own AI model. Yeah, I really like that idea. I don't know how much it would cost. You could train a dumber model than ChatGPT-4. It doesn't need to. It won't be quite as smart, but actually, when you train new AI models, they're almost as smart as the model you're using to train them. Like ChatGPT-4 took like billions of dollars to make.
Yeah.
But you can make one that's like 95% as good as ChatGPT for a few $100s using ChatGPT. So you can use these advanced neural systems, these neural network, or these advanced language models like ChatGPT-4 to train our own model. It won't be quite as good as ChatGPT-4, but it'll be less, but it'll still be really good, like better than any normal human. So yeah, I don't know. I actually really like this idea. I don't know.
Now,
how
here's
we
the thing, Mr. Lehto. In terms of this generative AI, Elon Musk is planning on releasing his own version of AI, and he claims that it makes ChatGPT look like kindergarten. But the focus on Elon Musk's AI will be to answer the hugest human questions, like where do we come from, like what's the universe made of, and aliens and stuff. So I'm excited for that release.
Elon's always trying to outdo like everybody else in existence.
Yeah, I really like Elon.
He loves the truth of the universe. That's what he's going after with his AI. He says, will it find the truth? And I love that.
Yeah.
So I think actually we could do this. We could train a model and make it like a UAP Society AI model, which is leaning towards, it's from the pro end, right? It's not using the mainstream idea that it's not possible. It says, okay, well, if that were possible, or if that were reality, this is how it would work. I would like to see, something like that.
Yeah,
like
that's a great idea. I like that.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool. And maybe it could even, you could possibly pay for itself by having other people get use out of it. Maybe that's one way.
Yeah,
Cool idea.
All right. Cool. And I think we have the last video now. We made it just 3 hours. So let's go to the last video. Thanks for being here, everybody. Appreciate
Very
it.
cool. Our last video comes from
All right, last
Sky
video for the contest.
360. Yep. UAP tracking project V1 memo, or promos rather.
I think there's a video. I saw where they had it in the title, UAP size, so I don't know what happened.
Oh, here it is. This is the one.
Okay, there it is. Yeah, excellent.
Yep.
Okay.
And here we go, friends.
We are excited to announce our open source sky observation project, Sky 360, and we're looking for supporters, developers who are passionate about space and citizen science to join our team. Our vision is to facilitate a global citizen science project to observe the skies and all their phenomena around the clock, while providing high-quality results and analysis available to everyone. We want to provide a community platform, tools, and support to all people interested in observing the skies for stars, meteors, satellites, planes, drones, weather phenomena, birds, UAPs, or anything else that happens in our atmosphere and low Earth orbit. Our Discord channel, the UAP Tracking Forum community, now has over 1,600 members. Together, with and for the community, we are developing affordable hardware and software for a 24/7 citizen sky observatory that can detect, track, identify, and analyze any aerial phenomena. Our software will cover various functionalities, including a core part with image processing, and neural network with a machine learning-based identifier and prioritizer, and a messaging system for all connected sensors. We first focus on the PTF for guiding, vector ahead tracking, and production of high-resolution video data. We are also developing an AI cloud service that can aggregate event data from all active stations and analyze it with additional external data, such as air traffic and weather. The first version of our open-source Sky 360 software is scheduled for release in 2023. For our Sky 360 Citizen Science project, we have set 5 preconditions, including open-source hardware and software development, open-source data generation, and affordable, harmonized hardware for DIY. We welcome developers of all levels of experience who are interested in contributing to our project and helping us achieve our vision. If you're interested in contributing to our project, please leave a comment or join us via Sky 360 UAP tracking group on Discord. We look forward to hearing from you and building something great together.
UAP DSci. Yeah, so Sky 360, obviously I've been a supporter of them for a few years now, and hopefully we have a final system. This seems like the most fully formed, at least technological device, right? We have kind of off-the-shelf products, the SDR, heard about ham radio operators. We have databases from MUFON, Newfork. That was interesting to get data. And then all of the green fireball data, so, and as well as human sensors. So it seems like a lot of systems or a lot of ways to get data that's already out there. And this seems like one of the few that's fully formed, so this could be one of those systems maybe we invest in, or a few of these, and put them out at UAP Society homes, like Ryan Wood's saying.
Yeah.
So this could be the final, the hardware that we actually use to send out there.
Yeah, I would be open to definitely putting a couple of these systems around
we've
my
been
house,
wanting
for
a
sure.
Sky 360 system for like a minute now, so we volunteer for tribute.
Excellent. Yeah, I think that I think we need at least 2 in the same city.
I do too.
Yeah.
2 in the same city, like Ryan's saying. 3 would be better, but this is great hardware. I mean, the whole idea, once fully fleshed, is amazing to me, right? Citizen science, UAP DSci, all open source. People build their own. How do you stop that? But at the beginning, it's just taken a long time to get it developed and created. Obviously, it's a new system. And the AI, the software has been the big holdup. I think right now, you could actually buy one of these systems put in your house and it would work. You would just have to go and download. You'd have to do like the physical hard download. It's not going to use the AI processing and give you this amazing fancy output. But yeah, great idea, and I hope that it's ready to go.
Hey, Chris, can you answer this question that's been on my mind with respect to Sky 360? I know you mentioned the AI aspect that still needs to be further developed. What about the sheer volume of data generated by 360-degree cams? I can imagine it could be massive, and it would pose like significant challenge for storage, transmission, real-time processing with the AI, especially like in high resolution or like high frame rate scenarios. What's that storage capability looking like in a nutshell?
Well, that's really why you need the AI processing, is because the storage just gets out of control. You can do it, like the American Meteor Society systems. All those things that craniocaffeine that he mentioned in his briefing is on green fireballs. Is basically what happens to detect a meteor is they just record all night. And in the morning, it's post-processing. Was there a big green flash? Right? So we could do something like that where you record all night. In the morning, you have to go, someone has to look at it or something has to look at it and say, okay, there's nothing on here that's worth looking into, nothing worth looking further. It's easier, I guess, when you just have green fireballs, because it's a bright green flash. So you can go through a lot of videos pretty quickly, short videos or images seeing this green flash. So that's really why you need the AI, because the data just gets out of control. If you're just constantly recording, you're going to have hundreds of gigs just in a few days. I mean, a day maybe. Yeah. So it's going to be way too much. So that's what the AI really buys you. The AI on the device. On-device AI buys you that it can just disregard it. It's like having a human there. A human's like waiting until it sees something. Oh, it sees something. Now it records. So that's what you want the AI to do, is just to wait, act like a human observer. Okay, is anything happening? No. Oh, that's something I don't recognize. And then try and recognize it, and then record it, right? Record it. So it has to realize there's something kind of unique there, and then it records it. And that's what really buys you that the storage is a huge issue. It's just a big problem. We can get around that now. It just takes manual. It just takes people. So if people are willing to do that, then it'd be great. Or maybe one person is doing the recording and uploading, and then you have groups of other people actually helping to watch. So maybe we just set up 2 observatories just to get it going. 2 observatories. Hello, Allie. Your guys' house, and then someone else nearby. Or other people, if you're willing to do it, and then if you upload it, maybe other people actually go and look through that data or something. But that's the big issue, and that's what AI buys you, George. Good question.
Understood.
We actually live pretty close to one of the developers of Sky 360.
I was thinking that this whole time.
He's not
that
too
would
far
be
away
amazing
from us.
too. So then we just need maybe one system at your house, and we can leverage those guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be amazing. So, the point of this video is really to share all the videos, to show that we watched through them all, as you saw, and that's the second time I've seen most of these videos, third time for some of them. And I want to just thank everybody for making those videos. I know it's not easy. A lot of people were already YouTubers, but most of those people, I think, was their first time putting a video on YouTube. And hopefully that helped get you guys out there, get you guys involved. We certainly appreciate it. Tons of new ideas. I heard many new ideas from this contest. And so hopefully it did instill some motivation. And I hope you guys enjoyed this 3-hour live stream.
I know, right?
I will say, please put in the comments your vote. Okay, just pick one of your videos, because people can only vote for one. So, what is your favorite video? Make an argument for it, because we're going to go and read these comments as we think about these videos. And then if you are an NFT holder, then go to the Discord, please, and put in your request. At least put in your vote for your best video in the holder chat.
Yes.
And so you only get one vote. Okay, one vote for one of these videos. So we'll go up for that. So please, maybe we should put 2 votes.
We probably need to
One and
figure
two?
out, organize
Okay.
a little better for them to be able to, you know, vote on it. It's a little bit. We need to probably set up an area for that to happen.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I put on the 12th to the 17th. So make sure you get your votes in by the 17th so that we can pick a winner. Hopefully a few short days after that, and I want to give them the awards before Christmas. So holders, please go to the Discord, and you have until the 17th midnight GMT to put in your votes, and we will decide the first place and second place. And again, thanks to everyone who entered. I hope you gained out of it.
Yeah.
Even if you don't win, we really appreciate it.
Yeah,
And I
thank
think we
you,
learned
everybody.
from every video.
Yeah, appreciate it. We really want to thank everybody that submitted their videos. And like Chris said at the beginning, you know, we're not judging the video itself, we're judging the idea behind it. So thank you, everybody. Appreciate everybody that tuned in and that's watching. Appreciate everybody that's on the Discord, UAP Society Discord. I also put an invite to the Sky 360 Discord if you want to get in on that and join their developer meetings and see where they're at in the process of building this amazing system. And just shameless plug, in 45 minutes, we have the next episode of UAP and UFO News coming out. So make sure you come back and check that out.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, the UAP Society, I think, is fully assembled now. So want to welcome you guys onto the YouTube, on the UAP Society YouTube, and everyone, you'll be seeing videos from George, Justin, and Allie.
Yeah,
and we hope you'll see Leslie on the Discord and in these videos as well as we go along. So excellent. So look out for UAP Society.
Yep.
And thanks to everyone.
Full
Thank
steam
you,
ahead.
Great rest of your day. Rest of
Thank
your
you,
night.
guys. Thank you, everybody. Much love.